The road to a UFL championship runs through St. Louis tonight. The Dallas Talons, winners of 12 games this season, riding a 4-game winning streak. They head into enemy territory to take on the 13-3 St. Louis Rivermen, a team that has won 6 straight and has been nearly unbeatable at home. These teams have already met once this season, Dallas walking out of St. Louis with a 25-16 victory, but tonight the stakes are even higher. The winner will host the Great East Conference Championship, and the loser drops into the loser's bracket. It's playoff football. It's the Talons of the Rivermen, and it all starts right now here on the Virtual Football Network. Eric Benson on the left side, Brett Killian here in the broadcast booth. What's going on, Brett?
Yeah, man, you went through that intro so quick. I had all my notes ready to go, and they're now right out the window because you said everything that I wanted to say on there. I'm ready for some football.
Here we go, here from St. Louis. This building is popping tonight as the Talons are going to get the first crack at the football, and we will see quarterback Cameron Duty come out and lead the troops.
Do not expect a pass-happy offense from Dallas. You're coming into this game only 45-89 in the regular season with Cameron Duty. That's good for 13th.
Duty going to start things off. He will pass it down to Neil Rivers. A little check down to the tight end for about 4 or 5 yards, and that is how the Talons will start things off. And we'll get a look at that Dallas offense right now.
Yeah, and the big key for me is to look at what Jaden Swift does to basically start off that offense. He's a guy that nearly averages 5 yards a carry every game, and he has been just that much impressive heading into these playoffs.
Rashad Lockley, another guy to watch out for, almost 1,200 yards receiving in the regular season. Rivers, another catch, another first down for Dallas as they get closer to midfield.
Yeah, and it's looking like they're going to go with a short dump option, which I don't mind. Neil Rivers with the catch. He's a big body, 6'4", 240. Don't mind that option.
Set the tone, defense. Set the tone, defense. Let's go.
They're going to spread it out, go 3 wide. Swift sidecar right. Duty still wants to throw. Another completion, starts off 3 for 3, and they sneak into St. Louis territory with that Lockley catch.
And in early on, St. Louis going with some cover one with a little bit of a linebacker blitz on it as well. So the easy ones for Dallas in these drives is just a quick hit, and I like it so far.
Starting 4 for 4 as they move deeper into St. Louis territory. Savage with the grab there, and Dallas moving things along nicely thus far.
Yeah, continuing to move down the field with relative ease. This time they go in almost a pseudo cover 2, but there's nobody down the middle to guard, so that's an easy catch and run.
Check. Ready?
Lockley shifts back inside. Duty still wants to go to the air. Finds Lockley, and that is going to be a gain of about 6 or 7 inside the 30-yard line, and that'll give us an opportunity to look at the Rivermen defense.
And the biggest thing for me is to see what that interior line led by Mike Rodick is going to get pressure on Duty. Early on, we're seeing these quick hitters. What happens if there's more time in the pocket that Duty has to be in? Will Rodick get past the offensive line?
So far, the Talons have done well. They have moved the ball with ease all through the air from Cameron Duty. Certainly not something that they do often as they get their first carry, and it's a big one inside the 15, near about the 12-yard line for Jaden Swift.
That is a textbook lull you to sleep play. It's usually done the other way, though. A lot of teams will run a bunch first, then they'll pass the ball. But Dallas does a flipsy-doozy and absolutely goes pass, and then runs the ball.
Mike 51. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Duty back to the air, 1st and 10, throws, and first misfire there intended for Lockley.
Finally an incompletion, and now St. Louis can finally breathe as Dallas has really been a high-tempo kind of offense to start off this game.
Duty on 2nd and 10. Fires end zone, and incomplete, intended for Savage, but there were 2 defenders in the area, including Douglas.
Yeah, and Douglas almost had his hands on that football, almost a Superman catch from him to get the interception touchback, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be 3rd and 10 now for Dallas.
Duty still wants to throw. He goes end zone, almost had intercepted, and man, he is lucky to have that one back.
Yeah, this time it's Kadarius Parker being on that double coverage. We might see it on the replay if they decide to throw it in, but that is equally covered. Again, Clements in the area of Boyer, and then you had that almost a fantastic interception from Kadarius Parker.
So Dallas cruising through their opening drive up until they get in the red zone, and then St. Louis's defense slams the door shut. A 29-yard field goal is up and good. There's our first points on the board and our first bingo numbers on the card.
Well, we got a 3 for sure, and we're going to get ourselves, what was it, 29? Is that what it is? Yeah, we're looking at 29. Wee-woo!
Wee-woo! First bingo numbers off the board. New cards today, my lovely little heathens. So be sure to go ahead and mark those down.
Yeah, and then for those bingos, it can be anything from the list that you saw on that page. It could be a smiley face, a box, a cross, an arrow, a stick figure, a dart, just 4 corners, lucky 7, list goes on and on. So many opportunities to get 1,000 points.
Be sure to check out the UFL Bingo channel for all of the different designs that you can put on your bingo card to be a winner tonight. And here, Dallas up to a 3-0 lead off of their opening possession. Now what will St. Louis do in front of this raucous crowd? It's going to be a return out of the end zone, out across the 20, and stop short of the 25. Mark it at the 24-yard line. Koizumi will come out at quarterback for the Rivermen.
And the biggest thing we know about St. Louis is that we know what they're going to do. They are a power spread offense. They're going to get that run-first mentality, but they're passing.
Yeah, play action to start with, and a little bit of the Butterfingers to start things off there. I believe that was Homer J, and we'll get a look at the St. Louis offense here.
Yeah, and they've been known to have a very stout offensive line that has kept Koizumi protected in the pocket, and it's all about getting to the receivers. But I wouldn't be too surprised if we see some type of read option style or maybe some type of triple option. They like to run the ball, this Rivermen.
Junior McCray dots the I. He'll get the carry. Right up the middle he goes. And actually, that's the backup right with the carry. And good gain of 7 yards, bringing up a 3rd and 3, opening up the playbook a little bit.
Yeah, good manageable 3rd down situation for St. Louis, and they need to respond after Dallas drove them down the field with relatively easy fashion, just get stifled in the red zone.
Koizumi to the air on 3rd and 3. A little bit of an awkward throw, was trying to go middle of the field, but well covered. And it's going to be a 3 and out for St. Louis to start things off.
And the big thing for Dallas's defense is that I'm always looking at that middle linebacker. You got Derek Marsh, you've got Scotty Scruggs, you got Josh Payne over there, just in that linebacking core. They're great coverage linebackers.
Good punt here. Oh, impressive backspin on that. Not great for St. Louis as it bounces about 15 yards backwards, but down at the 24-yard line nonetheless.
Yeah, if somebody would have caught that, maybe at the 20-yard line, that could have worked out, but that was just too much backspin, and it led to a high bounce afterwards as well. So now we're going to get back Dallas's offense. And what has St. Louis done adjusting on the sidelines to see if they can stifle this Dallas offense?
They were definitely pass happy on that first possession. They're going to continue to do that with play action. Duty wants to go with the corner, and it is incomplete. Now 5 of 9 after having the hiccups in the red zone on the previous possession.
Yeah, not even halfway through this first quarter, Eric, we're almost at double-digit pass attempts from Cameron Duty.
So the breakdown right there, 9 passes to only 1 rush thus far for Dallas. Here's the second one, goes to Swift, and not a whole lot doing there. Actually going to be Wells with the first carry of the evening, and 3rd and 9.
Yeah, good tackle from Will Todd, and still making it a 3rd and long situation. Now we're probably going to see the 10th pass attempt from Cameron Duty.
3rd and 9, Duty to the air. Over the middle, catch is made by Savage, and he hurdles a defender, getting close to the midfield stripe. That's exactly where they'll mark him. 6 of 10 for 70 yards for Cameron Duty.
You know, when you have those inside routes, you know, cutting in, or you're going to have those drag routes, they're going to make those defenders move. And if they're spread out wide enough, it's a lot of ground to cover for these defenders. Savage has the speed and the wherewithal to find that open space, get the catch, get to midfield.
Set, ready, 60 Pittsburgh. Watch the run, watch
Going with a bunch to look towards the top of the formation. Single back. Handoff goes to Swift, trying to find the hole. And he'll get about 4 yards out of the deal. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be too surprised at some point they tone down the passing and we see a lot of Jaden Swift on these single back plays. We're back to this 3-receiver single back set.
Play action this time on 2nd and 4. Duty wants to go
Open.
deep. Finds his receiver wide open, and they're back in the red zone once again.
Yeah, and I think Dallas is starting to see the one weakness from St. Louis, and that's kind of like that play recognition style because they've gone play action quite a bit, and it's led to some open receivers. Will Todd far away from the receiver, so that is a wide open pass, a no doubter for Cameron Duty to toss it to his receiver, and that's again red zone action for Dallas in this first quarter.
Isaiah Taylor with the post route there, and the first catch of the game for him. As we creep towards the 5-minute mark in the opening quarter, Duty back to the air on first down. Wants to throw again. Has a receiver. It's Savage. And it's another first down, making a 1st and goal for the Talons.
Yeah, over 100 yards already just through the air, and this has been wildly successful for a Dallas team that likes to run first and focus on, the short game rather than the longer games. So this has been a pleasant surprise to start things off from Dallas, but this is what you're going to see in a 2-1 matchup for, the Great East Championship game on the line here.
And this is a team that has not lost in quite some time, so there have been no game plan adjustments for this Talons team. So the fact that they're just going complete opposite of what they usually do is mind-boggling, but that's not mind-boggling. Jeff Wells getting into the end zone off tackle for the first touchdown.
Yeah, that almost looked a little bit too easy from the Dallas offensive line to get the blocking because Wells had, 3 open gaps he could have went to at any point. He stuck with the one gap that was, designed, and it was straight to the end zone. And this has been all Dallas in this first quarter here, Eric.
2 possessions, 2 scores, and the first touchdown of the ball game. Extra point going to be up and good. 10-0 the score here for the visiting Talons, with the Great East Conference Championship on the line, hosting the Great East Conference Championship for one of these teams tonight. Updated bingo numbers on the screen, 7 and 10 coming off the board. A little ironic that we got both of them there in that one play, but there you go. We got 4 numbers for you guys now. Again, check those designs in the UFL bingo channel on the Discord to see how you can win tonight. And if you're St. Louis, you got to be scratching your head a little bit, kind of on your back heels, wondering what is happening here, especially at home. Another deep kickoff, this time going to be kneeled in the end zone out to the 25.
Yeah, a bit of a flat start in comparisons to their opponents, but this is only their second drive, so they can figure something out and try to see what they need to adjust on this offense. Right now, I can see Koizumi's a little bit cold in terms of, throwing the rock. I'd be focusing on that run first, which they have done all season.
And they're going to start things off with a run to Junior McCray, and only maybe a couple yards on the play. And that'll give us an opportunity to look at the Dallas defense.
Yeah, and again, the big thing is to see those linebackers, Marsh, Payne, and Scruggs. They're going to determine how well that coverage game is going to be if Koizumi has to pass that ball down. So I'm looking at them. And then I'm also looking at Bernstein on that far side in the safety spot.
DJ Kilgannon, number 98, another guy to watch out for. 9 sacks in the regular season, 13 TFLs. So we certainly don't want to mess with him as he lines up at his right edge spot. Koizumi, a little short throw there. Not a whole lot. Maybe a yard. 3rd and 7 upcoming.
And again, another manageable situation if you're St. Louis. It's not, a long situation. You're right in the cusp of that 3rd and medium area, so that playbook is still available for you.
Koizumi throws into coverage, incomplete. Plenty of Dallas defenders in the area, and Koizumi just does not seem sharp tonight as she was looking for Alvarez.
Yeah, she seemed a little cold to start things off. Is the pressure of the playoffs and the pressure of, succeeding, being the 1 seed, is it starting to get to her after these first 2 drives starting with a dud?
Oh, man, that's great defending by Palmer, but honestly, Alvarez had his hands on it, could have easily picked that one up. So we've seen a drop by Jay. We've seen a drop by Alvarez. I mean, really, it just seems like the whole St. Louis offense, or maybe the St. Louis team as a whole, is just coming out ice cold.
And it's not a good look when you've got yourself a home playoff game and there's, high expectations after the regular season finish that they had.
So another punt, this time fielded. No backspin on this one, but it's brought out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. First bonus number of the evening for you, my lovely little heathens, is 46. 46 is your first bonus number of the evening. Be sure to mark that down on your bingo cards. 3:10 left to go here in the opening quarter. Camera Duty and the Dallas offense back to work. Play action. Duty goes deep.
Come on.
What a throw and a catch.
Double coverage, and he hauls it in like it's nothing at all. Savage has had quite the first quarter. It's a playoff first quarter, remember, from Manny Savage.
That is absolutely unreal. Had the safety streaking over, trying to make the play on the ball. Didn't matter as Savage reels it in for a huge 36-yard play, and they are in St. Louis territory just like that. Swing it out on a little screen play. Nothing really there. They'll count it as a rush for a yard. 2nd and 9.
Changing the depth of field. I like that from Dallas. Maybe a little bit too soon of a pass on the RPO from Duty, but man, already over 170 yards in the first quarter of offense for Dallas.
Back to the ground game. Swift bounces it off tackle. Got a little shifty on that far sideline, but gets that squirted out of bounds after a gain of a few. Going to bring up 3rd and 4.
Now I wonder if Dallas is going to try to throw things shorter. If they're going to go for the money ball and try to go for, the big one. They're going bunch on the right side. This could be either one of two things. It's going to be a short pass for the first down, or they're going to look for it long.
Duty. 3-step drop. Has time. Going to throw. One-on-one coverage. Catch is made. It's Neil Rivers. No, excuse me. That's another catch from number 84. It's Craig Branch, the second tight end. Usually we don't see him a whole lot. We're seeing Neil Rivers all the time.
Yeah, not a lot of multi-tight end sets from Dallas, which is why we were thinking it was Rivers right away. But Craig Branch coming in, he's also another big body, 6'4", just 215. 245 on his body, so he's a little bit bigger. So he got a little bit more muscle to kind of run around, but he's still a target in this Dallas offense.
Dynamite McCray with the stop. 1st and 10 in the red zone once again for Dallas. Play action for Duty. Wants to go end zone. A little too much juice on that one as he wanted to go back to Craig Branch on that one.
Yeah, and it's only the second time he's overthrown, his guy. But right now, I wouldn't want to stop this pass game because Cameron Duty has been electric on the accuracy in this first quarter.
Heavy set. Play action once more. Duty in trouble. He's got to get rid of it. He's going to go down. First sack of the ball game for either team. It's Mike Rodick with the honors.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. If there's enough time, Rodick's going to shed the blocks and try to get through, and there was just too much time, and Rodick finally got to Duty. That's the guy I've been looking for tonight. He gets his first. Can he get more tonight?
Duty with more incompletions tonight than their last meeting, all the way back in April when Dallas came out with the win 25-16. 3rd and 20. Duty just chucking it into one-on-one coverage. He was looking Lockley's direction, but I think he knew that was going to be a hope and a prayer. Now 4th down.
Yeah, that one, he was hoping for a 50-50 ball, but the problem is that the ball was a little bit too low. He almost zipped it through, knowing that, potentially Colin Douglas couldn't get to that ball and go for the interception instead of risking a 50-50.
Cameron Duty was 21 of 25 back in the end of April when these two teams met. And he now has 6 incompletions on the evening as Dallas adds their second field goal of the evening to make it a 13-0 game. So the defense for St. Louis, they hold, and they do it in a big way because, man, if it was going to be a 17-0 ball game, it might be tough to come back from this early on.
And I was even going to say, Dallas is probably looking at this and saying we should be up 21-0. with how this momentum has been setting forward. So St. Louis can kind of breathe a sigh of relief that it's only a 2-possession lead. But here comes the issue. That offense for St. Louis, they've only been out on the field for 8 plays, and it's been 2 3-and-outs.
13 and 43 off the board for you, my bingo lovers. Go ahead and mark those off. Dallas providing us with all the bingo numbers here early on as we reach near the end of the first quarter. See if St. Louis can go ahead and grace us with their presence offensively as they bring it out of the end zone to the 24-yard line. Second time that they've started off from that position here tonight. Koizumi, double read there, and man, Dallas was all over that. 190 to 10 in total yards thus far, Brett.
Yeah, that might be down to 190 to 8 after that 2-yard loss, and that's the issue that I have when it comes to the jet fakes into the zone runs, because there's so much time that a defense can get to the running back off that carry. So you've got to be quick with the fake in order to get that through. End of the first quarter.
13-0 the score. Dallas on top and holding firm control on the road against St. Louis. It's the Great East Conference semifinals. You're watching the UFL on VFN. Eric Vincent and Brett Solberg here with you. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ as always, as McCray gets the lost yardage back to make it a 3rd and 10.
And again, another third down situation, and it seems like it's longer and longer each time. The first time was the 3rd and 4. This time it was the next time was 3rd and 7. Now it's 3rd and 10.
Koizumi to the air, wants the throw.
Ooh, good space.
Oh, what a throw to Alvarez. There was some impressive touch on that ball because it was good coverage initially there, Brett.
And again, Koizumi's not the one known to have that laser pass, and she did well to place the ball behind the defender on what looked to be like a bit of a fade route almost that turned into a little bit of a corner. And there was only one person that was going to get to the ball, and that was the receiver, and that's how you start off a second quarter.
30 yards, and they are in Dallas territory for the first time tonight. Koizumi quickly throws out. Not a whole lot there. Dallas all over it. Loss of 2 on the play.
No blocking at all there, Eric. It's just, if you're going to throw that kind of wide receiver screen, you got to make sure your linemen are there, and nobody was there after the catch.
So Alvarez, after that big play, takes a big hit right near the 50-yard line. So St. Louis looking to reset here, trying to keep themselves ahead of the sticks. That's something they've struggled with here tonight. This is their 11th play of the game. McCray trying to bounce it outside, then cuts back in and gets a couple extra yards out of the deal, bringing up a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, and I think the early game plan should have been to get the legs going for McCray and Koizumi. Koizumi is one of the fastest quarterbacks in this league. Get her legs going too.
3rd and 9. Koizumi throws a little too much sauce on that one, intended for Maldonado, and it is now a 4th and 9 in no man's land.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go for it on this 4th down. It's 9 yards away. You're in the middle of the field. Might as well just pin Dallas deep and hope that defense can, push back just enough.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They've had a couple good punts already from Brandon Marsland. This one, an absolute sky ball, lands at about the 6, but no backspin on that one. We'll bring it out to the 20-yard line.
And again, big opportunity for Dallas to just blow this game wide open. They've had all the momentum in this game already from the start, and if Duty and company can just get one more scoring drive, it's going to be a tough hill to climb no matter what you think for St. Louis after that.
Play action. It's been working well for them tonight, and this time overshoots Lockley. Looked like he had an opportunity with Douglas on outside leverage.
Yeah, and it was a great place ball as well, just maybe a yard or two too far out. And again, it's these play actions that are just catching St. Louis off guard.
Swift with the carry. And it seems every time that they do run the ball, St. Louis's defense is ready for it, which probably explains the play action kind of being caught off guard defensively.
Yeah, and it looks like Swift is having a little bit of troubles here. Now they're going to go empty set on this 3rd and 10. I'm looking at Savage again.
This would be a huge stop for St. Louis if they're able to get it. Checks it down to Rivers, and he is nowhere near the sticks. St. Louis holds. It's a 3-and-out here for Dallas, and the Rivermen will get the football back.
I don't think shallow cross was the play to go on 3rd and 10. If it was 3rd and 3, I'd understand that, but that's way too short of a throw if you're going to get that first down. And now St. Louis finally gets a stop, and now they have an opportunity to try to respond in kind here.
Especially if you're going to go ahead and check it down to your tight end. It'd be one thing if it was someone speedy like, Lockley or one of those guys, Savage. But Neil Rivers, for as many things as he is, he's not going to turn on the Jets in a hurry. Booming punt here, fielded inside the 20. Good move on the returner. And going to bring it out to the 25-yard line. That's Maldonado with the return, and good starting field position for the Rivermen.
Yeah, there's got to be something to give on this St. Louis offense. You had that big catch from Alvarez early on the last drive. Now it's just to supplant that. Use that. Try to find something to exploit, some kind of weakness in Dallas's defense, whatever that is.
Koizumi goes play action. Corner blitzes. Good throw, good catch for St. Louis as Alvarez snags that one near the 45.
And honestly, this might be the guy that you have to look at through the entire second quarter, as he's gotten your 2 big catches in this first half. Just look at where Alvarez is going, head his way. That's another great catch and a first down, which has been very rare to come by in this game for St. Louis.
Yeah, they had just 40 total yards prior to that play. And Dallas certainly doing a lot of the work there in the total yards department. You see it right there, 194 to 56 thus far. Play action once more. Koizumi has time. She wants to throw, has the man, and that is Homer J with the snag. And another first down for St. Louis, building momentum here.
Yeah, that's all it is, building momentum. Stack those first downs. Get your name players involved, and now Homer J gets a catch in this game.
Now they're going to go back to counter, and man, McCray. Both these running backs having a real hard time running against these front fours.
Yeah, that was Vent Holton on the tackle there. Just nobody on coverage. It looked like he was going to be double blocked, but his one lineman got right past, and he just bruises through. That's that top end strength coming in.
6'1", 283 listed in your programs for Ryan Van Holden. Brings up a 2nd and 11, still a heavy set. Koizumi goes play action rollout, sets her feet, she fires, just checks it down to McCray, and he is going to get about maybe 5 yards. Going to bring up a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, and again, another long 3rd down situation. Could be another Homer J play coming up here, but I'm surprised there hasn't been any rollout draws or any scrambling opportunities for Koizumi quite yet.
Empty set here on 3rd and 8. Koizumi wants to throw quickly, and football jarred loose in the middle of the field. It was good coverage by the linebacker, Scotty Scruggs, and that's the 2nd drop here for Homer J tonight.
Yeah, just going on a straight streak, seeing that Scotty Scruggs was a little bit too late, but Scruggs has the speed to catch up to any tight end, let alone it be Homer J. And now again, midfield, St. Louis has to punt it away.
Fireworks to start the game, at least on the part of Dallas. Much better punt this time for St. Louis, and it is down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So the Talons will have to go 93 yards to hit pay dirt on this one. But this game's really quieted down towards the tail end of the first quarter and now into the second.
And I think this is, kind of playing into the hands of Dallas, knowing that they're up 13. And they've kind of dictated the pace of this contest, too. So I would be careful if I'm St. Louis on this, slowing it down. They might need to speed things up themselves.
Exactly 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Duty, 5-step drop, wants to throw, finds his receiver, that's Rivers, and he'll get tackled near the sticks. Back to give him out 10 on the play, 2nd and inches.
Yeah, and this is a perfect play to go, with an inside touch on this play. If I'm Dallas, I'm going straight to Swift on the handoff.
That's what they're going to do right up the middle. Good move for Swift, and he'll get the first down as it gets tackled across the 20 by Colin Douglas.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered. Just get the first down. Don't need to be super flashy. Yeah, again, dictate the pace of the game. That's what Dallas has done.
Too wide, heavy set. Another handoff for Swift. Good blocking. Cuts back inside and gets near the 30-yard line. In fact, they'll mark him right there. Gain of 7, bringing up 2nd and 3.
And honestly, that is the perfect formation to do a stretch run. Single back ace. You've got offsiding tight ends on both sides of the line, and you can stretch any direction. They decide to go right. They get the 7 yards.
Now going weak side this time. Plenty of space to run, and Swift is able to get to the 45-yard line.
Changing things up. That's what Dallas is doing. They're getting the run game more involved, and Swift, starting to wake up here. 7 carries, now over 50 yards, just like that.
Just great blocking up front. I mean, Swift didn't have to make a move or anything. No one cut and go, just straight up through the Holy Ghost.
No problem at all.
Now under 4 to go. Bunch of receivers towards the top of the formation. Duty will throw, hits the crosser, and Savage tackled immediately near the 50. They'll mark him down to the 49 for a gain of 5.
And again, these short gains are working because I think Dallas wants to carry this all the way to the end of the half so that St. Louis doesn't have a chance to score any points in this first half.
It's been a very methodical drive thus far. We'll see if they keep it up, and they will. Swift with the carry. Rolls out of initial contact, gets maybe 1.5 yards extra, 3rd and short coming up.
A couple directions Dallas can go with this one. They can stick with the run, keep it with Swift, see if they can get the first down, maybe go with some type of spacing play, but they're going back to the single back formation. Looks to be almost ace. They only had one tight end there, but that's a sack.
Play action, Duty. Will Todd was not fooled on that one. Comes on the linebacker blitz and gets in Cameron Duty's lap. 4th down, and now Dallas will have to punt.
Yeah, now they have to punt at midfield, but that one finally, St. Louis guesses the play action right after so many times that Dallas has ran play action, and Will Todd was not fooled.
So St. Louis's defense finally finding a little bit of momentum here and halting the red-hot Talons. It's only a 13-0 game, and that is a shank. Came right off the side of the foot, out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That is not a good punt there, Brett.
No, and I think this is an opportunity for St. Louis to really take advantage. Any small mistakes that Dallas makes, you've got to take advantage of. Now they're going doubles hip here.
Probably last play before the 2-minute warning. Handoff goes to McCray, met in the backfield. Dallas working overtime on the run game for St. Louis as we hit the 2-minute warning. 13-0 your score. Dallas on top of St. Louis as you're watching the UFL playoffs on BFN. Eric Vincent alongside Brett Solberg in the broadcast booth. UFL co-founder Cameron Irvine back at VFN HQ. 2 minutes to go here in St. Louis. Koizumi to the air, wants to just check it down and out of bounds. Stops the clock, 3rd and 14 upcoming. And just not a smart play there to go ahead and check it down and take the loss, I think. I mean, it seemed rather quick that Koizumi just got rid of the football like that. And now behind the sticks once more are the Rivermen.
Need too focused on the time clock more than anything.
Empty set, Koizumi, 3rd and 14, throws, and Jay jumps up to snag it. I'm not sure if he was the intended target on that play.
I don't think so either.
Dallas going to call a timeout and stop the clock. They'll have an opportunity here.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm not sure if Jay was expecting the ball to go his way. It looked like the ball was supposed to go like 15 yards downfield, but instead it was a 5-yard check down.
So we had 13 straight points, and we've had punts ever since then. This one a big one, and it is going to skip into the end zone for a touchback out to the 20-yard line. Minute 42 to work with for Dallas. They've got 2 timeouts.
And I'm going back to that mentality that Dallas had in their last drive. giving the ball to Jaden Swift. Are they going to do it again? You know, looking at probably what, 60, 50 yards just to get into field goal range.
Averaging about 7 yards a carry. Duty retreats, hits the screen. That's Wells. He's got blocking, and he gets ushered out of bounds along that far sideline, saves a timeout, and freezes the clock at 1:36.
Yeah, and here's the unexpected thing. Screen passes. Don't see that all too often here in the UFL, and it pays off the dividends. 13 yards on the catch and run.
Dallas right back up to the line. Duty throws, air mails the intended target. Only a few seconds off the clock, bringing up second down.
Yeah, and again, I think Dallas came into this one. They had this game plan where St. Louis may be a little bit leaky on the passing, which they have. You saw it in the first quarter, but I think St. Louis is starting to patch it up a little bit.
Duty throws far sideline, toe drag swag for Neil Rivers. Although he does not get out of bounds, clock will roll with 3rd and 8 coming up.
Yeah, big decision for Dallas. They can try to run this clock off as much as possible and leave, you know, little for St. Louis to get back, but I want to get this first down.
Duty with time. Time runs out, finds Rivers, but he was well out of bounds. It is 4th and 8, and now Dallas will have to punt. St. Louis will have all 3 timeouts and about a minute to work with.
Yeah, again, another prime opportunity for St. Louis, but they haven't capitalized on the opportunities that the defense has given them so far. And again, we asked this question before: how much time will Cameron Duty get in the pocket before the defense gets to him? And again, I'm looking at Mike Rodick. He almost got a 2nd sack in this game.
Dallas jumped out to a hot start. St. Louis has since rebounded, at least defensively. But man, their offense is just all out of sorts. A much better punt here for the Talons, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. 1:03 for the Rivermen to work with, and all 3 timeouts. As we get a look at Alvarez's numbers, 3 catches, 44 yards, although he did have 1 catch for 30 yards earlier in the first half.
And we go back to that same question. Can they get 50 or 60 yards to get just into field goal range so they can break this deadlock that they have just in themselves?
Koizumi throws middle, catch is made, and that's the first big play that this crowd has seen in quite a bit. Listen to the stadium roar right now with that Hausa catch.
Yeah, and I think they're a little bit disappointed in this first half performance from St. Louis because we've seen them score in bunches, but then again, St. Louis has been a second half team as well.
Koizumi in trouble, down she goes. Scotty Scruggs with the sack, timeout called.
Yeah, brought the blitz at the right time too. Just when momentum was starting to shift their side, Dallas brings it back theirs, and now it's 2nd and 20, 40 seconds left.
Scotty Scruggs just absolutely annihilated the blocker on that play and got to Koizumi with ease. First sack of the night for Dallas. Koizumi, 2nd and 20, throws, threw a pick.
Devon Palmer, you were so close for an interception there, and that could have, you know, swung things back Dallas's side, and we would have said, hey, is that field goal range for them?
And now a 3rd and long for St. Louis. They're just going to hand it off to McCray. And now Dallas will call their 2nd timeout. They will have 1 remaining. Is anyone going to want to score for the rest of this game, Brett?
Yeah, I will say, this has been the longest 18-minute drill I've ever seen in my life.
31 seconds on the clock. St. Louis will punt. We have had 3 punts since the 2-minute warning. This one, a good one. It'll bounce at about the 7 and backspin. Now down at the 3, 23 seconds to go. 1 timeout for Dallas. Doesn't look all good. So you know what? We'll give you a bonus number. Here's your 2nd bonus number, folks. 44. 4-4 is your 2nd bonus number of the evening. Mark it down on your bingo cards. As we get a look at Swift's numbers, again, he's averaging over 7 yards a carry thus far, but only 13 points for Dallas.
Producer Cameron Irvine has picked 2 bonus numbers that are on neither of my bingo cards. I think this is rigged.
Highly unfortunate. Duty of play action. He's just standing in his end zone. He's got to get out of there. He eventually takes off and runs, and he will get to a safe spot. Cameron Duty, not really a running quarterback. Kind of like a giraffe running around out there.
Yeah, I think the closest thing that you'll see to a giraffe out in the football field in the UFL is if BK Solberg ever gets to scramble the football ever, but that was pretty close.
And so that mercifully will bring us to the end of the first half. That second quarter, it was just a punt fest. No one wanted to keep possession of the football. 13-0 to score. Dallas dominating the total yardage there in the first half, but that was primarily in the first quarter, Brad.
Yeah, and I think Dallas is okay with how this second quarter went because of how well that first quarter went. I think it was about 170 of those yards just in that first quarter alone, as they were finding ways to just move the ball forward. Again, they're thinking to themselves that we should be up 21-0, but if St. Louis can't get their offense going at all, I think they're more than content with this 13-0 lead.
So now the hometown Rivermen, they will get the football to start the second half. And a real opportunity here for St. Louis to get themselves back in the ball game. Still 2 possessions and a whole half to go. There are your bingo numbers up on the board. No, it does not include the bonus numbers. I'm not giving them to you. You can't make me.
Unless you want to give us like a $100 donation.
That's true. We do have super chats. We take bribes.
Easily we do.
Neal in the end zone out to the 25-yard line. And once again, much like the first meeting between these two teams, Brett, Karen Koizumi not active in the running game. She has not run the ball once in the first half.
And I think that needs to change. They need to add some variety to that offense instead of incomplete pass after incomplete pass.
Then we'll start off with a carry for McCray. 8 carries for 9 yards for Junior McCray.
Yeah, and then that one was a little bit tough because there was an open lane, but McCray couldn't get moving on that left side. Excuse me. So just nothing going on that run.
We stick with it, and similar results. I mean, right in the middle is where Dallas is doing a ton of damage, and that's big number 90, Justin Barnett, with the stop that time.
Like this would be a great game plan if this was like a Rochester who is known to have, you know, some troubles with the run, but Dallas has just cured that no problem.
I resemble that remark. Koizumi throws and throws an interception. Gets out of traffic is Jordan Palmer, but that is the first turnover of the game, and that one hurts if you're St. Louis.
Man, it not only hurts, but it's one of those lingering pains that you get in your lower back, that kind of pain after, you know, seeing your halftime adjustments, and it starts off with an interception. Again, Koizumi's been struggling tonight, and it's been all due to, you know, I would say perfect defensive play calling from the Dallas defensive coaching staff.
So St. Louis comes out in the second half, 2 runs that equal a yard total and an interception. So now Dallas will take over in St. Louis territory, already up 13-0. Duty to the air. Just throws it to Neil Rivers on a little hitch route near the 40-yard line, and that's a gain of 5.
And already 25 pass attempts. We were talking about 25 in the last encounter with St. Louis. He's already at that marker. This is a completely different Cameron Duty than what was at April.
And he surpassed 200 yards passing with that catch from Neil Rivers right there, excuse me. So now a 2nd and 5, and more importantly, Dallas has done what St. Louis has not, and that's keep it ahead of the sticks. I mean, by and large, they have really kept themselves ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're basically tripling them in terms of, yardage already here. It's been all Dallas. Toss play.
And Swift gets absolutely nothing. St. Louis ready for that one as Brady able to get in there and make the stop. 2nd TFL of the night for him.
Yeah, toss plays are tough if you don't get the right blocking, and that's where you've got to get your lead blockman in the right moments, and they just weren't there. Robert Brady Jr. being in there too really helps. He's got that speed, he's got that pursuit ability as well, and they're going to need that from him in this second half moving forward too.
So now behind the sticks, 3rd and long, empty set, Duty. Gonna throw, and I don't know where he was going with that. I think he was going to the tight end drag, but just not enough sauce on that one. Now a 4th down and a punt.
So St. Louis went with the contain kind of rush, and I think this is one of those moments where Duty had a little bit of a rookie Sam Darnold moment and saw some ghosts.
So first turnover of the ball game ends up in a punt. And this one will drop at about the 7-yard line. So another good punt here for both of these teams, really keeping them in bad field position for the most part.
Yeah, big test here for St. Louis. You're backed up, nearly to the edge of your end zone. What are you going to do after an interception? You've been given, this lifeline that Dallas did not score off this turnover, but now you've got 93 yards to the pay dirt.
They're going to start off with an I formation. Back to McCray. And once again, Dallas is just blowing up that offensive line today. Holton, the first guy on the scene, and Kilgannon gets credit for the tackle.
I'm not sure if you heard the chatter before the snap, but I think that was Van Holten saying, "I smell fear from that offense," and that's exactly what happened on that play. Complete fear off the handoff and from McCray.
Palmer gets in there too to wrap things up. Loss of 1, 2nd and long. 16 total rushing yards for the Rivermen tonight. Best run of the evening, and it wasn't even for a whole lot, as McCray able to get out to the 10-yard line to 3rd and 6.
Yeah, your offense isn't doing great when your best run is 5 yards. 3rd and 8 coming up, and they're bringing everyone out. 5 receivers. I'd expect a deep ball here.
Koizumi wants to take a shot. Little too much sauce, and almost came down with it anyway. Alvarez, the intended receiver, but it is a 4th and 6, deep in their own territory. They will have to punt. Dallas will get decent field position.
It was a good placed ball from Koizumi, knowing that he was going to be there at the right time, but there was just that laying in wait Dallas defender, and the focus wasn't on grabbing interception. It was just getting the ball away, knowing that a punt here would get them decent field position.
By the way, Junior McCray, 2nd in the league this season, averaging almost 93 yards per game. He's got 14 tonight. So Dallas really doing a great job with clamping shut that rushing attack for the Rivermen. And a decent return for Blades is going to bring it out near midfield. So again, good starting field position for the Talons. Can they do anything with it? They've been stuck in mud just the same as St. Louis has. They just got off to a better start.
Yeah, I would say that they've been stuck in the mud for 1 quarter less compared to St. Louis. That's really been the difference.
Delayed handoff. Swift a little too cute with that one. I think if he hit the gas a little bit harder, Brett, he might be off to the races.
Yeah, at this point, you almost want to turn your brain off in that kind of play and just go run straight. Please run straight. That's all you need to do on that play.
2nd and 7, off tackle run, trying to bounce it back inside. But again, not a whole lot of room to operate. Todd with the stop. Only a gain of a yard, 3rd and 5 coming up.
Yeah, short down situation. And again, another opportunity for St. Louis to get this offense off the field, which they've done pretty well in this last, I would say, 10, 11 minutes of this game?
Duty to the air, throws, wide open receiver. It's Miles Savage with the grab inside the 35 to the 32-yard line.
And then Dallas just, this one isn't about throwing haymakers. It's about those subtle little punches, those gut punches. And this one was a gut punch. 3rd and 5, it felt like St. Louis had a chance to get them off the field, but they get the conversion, and Dallas moves the chains.
The corner gave him some room to operate. Savage running just a simple slant route. Wide open spaces in the middle of the field, and a 1st down for Dallas.
Come on.
4 wide, play action once more. Duty with time, will throw, and he throws an interception.
I think that would have been a hold anyway, so I think that's going to stay.
Oh,
it's a defensive hold.
Defense. Oh, no, okay.
No, that was just wrongly called by the ref. Come on, man. You're on live television. You say holding defense, but it's against the offense.
Darby Clements with the interception. So now both teams with a pick. And Van Holten with another stop, a loss of 3 on that run there.
Yeah, Cameron Irvine, screaming into my earpiece after calling out the referee. This is the side of Brett that you wanted in your booth tonight here. So this is what you're going to get. But hey, speaking of getting what you're going to get, St. Louis can't get that run game going, and they're going to keep getting hit behind the line. So they need to get that pass game going.
Back to the ground game, McCray with a burst of speed. Gets back a good amount of that yardage, but it's going to be 3rd and 8.
Yeah, you cannot do run, pass when you're down multiple possessions. You've got to start off first down pass in a desperate situation. This is the playoffs. You've got a chance to get into the Great East Finals.
Blitz coming. Koizumi one-on-one, intended for Homer J, and incomplete. Looked like Jordan Palmer was the guy in coverage out there on the big tight end. And there you go. Run, pass. I mean, this play calling has been a snooze fest for the Rivermen tonight.
Yeah, you can see some of the St. Louis fans actively sleeping because of the play calling. So they need to figure out variety. They need to change up the style. They need to change the pace of this game so that St. Louis can get some points on the board. It's not about coming back at this point. It's about getting some points.
Warren Foxworth actually with the pass deflection there. So another punt, as both of these teams haven't even really gotten into opponent territory. Not a whole lot of a return for Blades. He'll bring it out to the 18-yard line where Dallas will take over. And we'll go ahead and we'll wake you guys up a little bit. We got a bonus number for you. Wee Woo, 38 is your 3rd bonus number of the evening. 38. Mark that off of your bingo card. Duty throws near sideline. Catch is made by Lockley. Going to be a short gain of about 5. Yeah, look at him, 6. 2nd down.
It hasn't been an earth-shattering performance from Cameron Duty under center either, but he's done just enough in this game to support this lead. The first quarter has been fantastic for him, but otherwise, he's been pretty pedestrian.
Whips with another carry, and not a whole lot there. He had that one big run on that initial possession, but otherwise St. Louis has really kept him in check.
Yeah, and really, this, again, we're going into a situation where St. Louis, they can get a stop here, move the football back again, try to carry that momentum through the offense. And that's not how you do it.
That is not how you do it. Swift is going to move the sticks with another carry there. He's up to 70 rushing yards. Brings his average down. He was averaging about 7 yards a carry, now down to a little over 5.
Yeah, and again, when you need someone to kind of just get that first down for you, Jaden Swift has been the guy for them tonight, especially if in these 3rd and shorts. But we've seen him like 3rd and 5s and 3rd and 8s as well. So he's been, pretty efficient all game.
And with a heavy look. Play action for Duty. He'll throw a laser and finds the tight end right near the midfield stripe. That is Branch with another grab. 19 of 30 for Duty here tonight.
There's not been a lot of play action boots. We've seen just regular play action from Dallas, but they go with a little bit of a boot play, and Duty just stops on his tracks, sees one of his guys wide open, and just slings that baby to him. No problem at all.
You can see Will Todd in pursuit there. Colin Douglas, the first on the play. Parker involved as well. Gang tackling him at the 47-yard line. Duty 7-step drop this time. Has a clean pocket. He'll throw near sideline. Finds his man, Neil Rivers. And I think forward progress. No, they're going to mark him just shy. They'll give him 9.
Yeah, he didn't have the ball secured in his hands when he was past the first down marker, so they're going to mark it behind him. But again, another 2nd and short. I'm looking at Jaden Swift here on this 2nd down run.
And there it is. Swift trying to find a little bit of space to work. He'll get just enough needed. In fact, he'll get a yard extra. It'll be a 1st down.
And again, moving the chains, and they're chewing up this clock. They're trying to give St. Louis as little chance as possible to try to get back to their offense, which, might be a blessing for them, because I think St. Louis just needs to rest offensively and maybe just try to switch things up on the sidelines.
We'll see if they go back to that play action rollout. Instead, it's Swift going off the left guard, and a huge run for Jaden Swift. We say that, it was 9 yards, but it seems like it was 90.
Yeah, in this kind of game, it's going to be those long runs of 8 and 9 yards that are going to be those massive ones because the splash plays have only been what 30-yard passes. Like we haven't. This is not a traditional UFL game.
Play action for Duty. He's in trouble.
Oh.
Todd gets there. It was actually Todd and who else? 62, Doug Howard Jr. getting in there was actually the first guy on the play. And Todd gets in there to clean it up.
Now, someone needs to tell me what the allure is of this return of the neck rolls on these defensive players. I'm starting to see it all over the place, and now Doug Howard Jr., has one as well. But, it might be some kind of good luck because both of the neck roll guys got to Cameron Duty on that play, and that is a big sack for St. Louis.
It's that old school grit, that old school defensive grit there, Brett. 3rd and 13. Duty throws another interception. Touchdown at the 30-yard line, but Robert Brady Jr. able to snag that one.
Massive. Again, another interception from this defense. St. Louis has responded so well after getting hit in the jaw with 13 first-quarter points allowed. They have just shut things down when it comes to inside the 30 for Dallas. There has been no response from that offense. Hopefully this one will wake that offense up.
Cameron Duty, no picks in his first 6 quarters against St. Louis. He's got 2 in this quarter alone. Maybe none bigger than that one right there. Still a 2-possession ball game nearing the end of quarter number 3. Koizumi just going to check it down to McCray, and I don't know if he got his feet in. They'll say he did. Loss of 3.
Yeah, and again, going with the check down, like we talked about this in that first half. We saw that check down as well. Is that too early of a pass from Koizumi? Should she just wait a little bit longer?
Back to the run game. One of the better runs that we've seen in a while as Wright checks in, gets his 2nd carry. Going to be a 3rd and 5 upcoming. This is at least 3rd and manageable here for St. Louis, Brett.
Yeah, finally a 3rd and manageable, but they've got to figure out a play that's going to get their players open. Right now, they're showing 5 blitzing, so I would see maybe a zone 3 or a cover 3 blitz coming in.
St. Louis just hits 100 yards total in the game as we reach the end of quarter number 3. All 13 points scored by Dallas, all in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the UFL playoffs on VFN. Eric Vincent alongside Brett Solberg as Koizumi going to take off and run for the first time tonight, and she dives close to the sticks, just shy. Going to be 4th and 1. Do you go for it?
I mean, I go for it because I'm the ultra-aggressive type, but if I'm St. Louis, like, a yard feels like a mile. So I'm not entirely sure if they should go for it.
By the way, 4th quarter chat, you know what that means. Let me see those numbers. I'm seeing some IVs already from Ernest McCray. I appreciate you, my friend. Instead, we're going to see a punt. Neither team has wanted to score a point since the 1st quarter of play, as this one is down also inside the 20 at the 10-yard line. So Dallas, I mean, if you're the Talons, just go ahead and run as much clock as your little heart desires and see if you can get some points on this drive.
Yeah, just hand the ball off to Jaden Swift 36 times in this 4th quarter, and I think you're going to win it.
Instead, they'll go play action. Duty going to take off and run. Trying to find a little bit of space. He's got plenty of space. Is anyone over there? Hello? First down, Cameron Duty. Big run for him.
Yeah, phone call, ring, ring. Hello, anybody on that right side of the field for St. Louis? Apparently not, as, Cameron Duty, we talked about this before, not a scrambler, not a runner of any sort, and he just casually gets, 30 yards, no problem at all.
Again, Cameron Duty, not the running type as far as quarterbacks are concerned. His counterpart, Koizumi, is really the running quarterback of the two. But Duty has had a lot of success running the ball here tonight as he goes play action again. Throws, finds Rivers inside of St. Louis territory. Another first down for the Talons.
Yeah, hashtag throw it to the tight end, and I think that's what Dallas is going to do on these pass plays. Just go with the old reliable. This one is Neil Rivers. You don't have to do anything too fancy. Go short. Just, I don't think Lockley has had a catch all game here, Eric. And it's been basically the difference maker in this contest of Dallas not scoring like a million points.
I know he had a short one at some point in time there in the first, quarter or two. But beyond that, he's been largely absent. It's been the Neil Rivers show primarily, as Swift gets rid of the first defender, gets positive yardage on the play. He'll get 3, bringing up a second down.
Opportunity again for St. Louis. You're getting hit with these little gut punches again. 2nd and 7. They're spreading out. This could be a contained play. I would be concerned if I'm Dallas. It's not.
Duty just going to sling it down towards the near sideline, finds Taylor for another grab. And that is going to bring up a 3rd and a long.
And again, for as much as that we've been talking about the woes of St. Louis, their defense has been top-notch these last 2 quarters.
They had a very slow start in the first quarter. Otherwise, they have buckled it down. 3rd and 10. Duty throws. And almost came up with a tough grab. That's Jeff Wells, the running back, out there running routes and almost came up with a miraculous catch.
That is a spear and a half. That's still technically legal because look at this. Boom!
Woo.
Shoulder to torso, meat bruising.
Yee!
Like that one gave my stomach a little bit of a churn.
That was Slim Diaz with the big hit there, jarring the football loose. Big stop for the Rivermen
slim
defense.
About that hit.
Definitely not. Another punt, another sky ball. Lands at about the 8, and can Dallas get there? They will.
Yes, they can. Oh, my.
St. Louis going to set up shop at the 1.
99 to go, Rivermen. Let's see what you've got. This is the ultimate form of show me what you have.
So here comes Koizumi. She has had 1 rushing attempt all game long. St. Louis going to come out with a heavy look. Handoff goes to McCray. Avoids initial contact, and forward progress to give him 2 yards.
Yeah, it's a little bit of breathing room, but if I'm inside the 5, I'm doing nothing else but running the ball. You're kind of stuck in this situation.
Offset eye, stacked receivers towards the top. Back to the ground game. McCray met in the middle of the field once again. And a 3rd and 5 upcoming.
We're kind of back to this formulaic run, pass kind of thing because now you're at the 5. You almost want to pass here, but I'd, again, throw a curveball, run that ball again.
Well, naked bootleg would probably cure some things for Koizumi as, look at McCray. He's here. That's the best run we've seen from Junior McCray tonight, and he gets the first down.
Yeah, someone was talking about IVs earlier. I think you got an IV into his system to wake him up, and now a first down, a much-needed first down for St. Louis.
And much better blocking. Had himself a nice lead block there from the fullback to go ahead and spring him free. That was Garrett Wessling. And able to just roll over defenders to get the first down. I think that's the first time that we've had a converted first down for St. Louis in quite some time. Koizumi back to the air. Just going to check it down on the drag route. Not a whole lot of options there. Howes with the catch for 3 yards.
Yeah, big problem is that clock is ticking. You're getting to the 7-minute mark in this 4th quarter. Checkdowns can only get you so far.
Still a 2-possession game. Koizumi from the empty. Only a 3-man rush. She will throw near sideline. What a grab by Homer J. And a first down for the Rivermen.
Just the catch that you need from Homer J, just the throw that you're going to need as well, but you need to keep moving down the field. I almost want to hurry things up if I'm St. Louis with 6.5 left.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, Brett. I mean, go ahead and throw some tempo in. Keep the defense off guard. You're finally finding a little bit of success offensively. Go ahead and get yourselves amped up a little bit more offensively. First down for St. Louis. Koizumi throws. Another clutch grab, this time from Maldonado. And another first down. Mark it down at the midfield stripe. That is the first catch for Maldonado all game long, Brett.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see from your St. Louis offense if Angel Maldonado is only going to get one catch in the fourth quarter. Like, you got to get him involved more often. That's how you get him involved. Maybe look for something deeper his way.
Angel Maldonado had 56 catches in the regular season, just one tonight. Koizumi airs it out. Another catch. It's Howes again, and he'll pick up maybe about 7, bring it up second down.
And it looks like this pass game has finally come alive because they're not just throwing it on third down. That was a first down play. That was a first down pass.
Now they're going to go no huddle. Empty set. Koizumi going to take off and run with it. Little hesitation, but gets the first down. No, they're going to mark her just shy.
Ooh. See, I would have cut outside a little bit more. That probably would have gotten like another 4 or 5 yards. But she cuts inside instead and goes for the slide. And there you see, that's practically a first down. Look at the placement of the ball.
3rd and inches. Koizumi wants to take a shot. One-on-one coverage and a little bit too far. And that was intended. I think that was Daniel Alvarez out there that it was intended for.
It looked like a little bit of jostling between him and Palmer on that near end there, but Alvarez is the guy to go to because he was the big target guy on this in that second quarter, and obviously they got to go for it here on 4th and inches.
5:04 left to go in the ball game. Fullback dive, and it's going to be just enough to move the sticks for the Rivermen.
Got to get it. Now they can go back to this pass on first down, get this hurry up going, and they've got 5 receivers out. This is perfect.
Yep, back to the empty. Offensive lineman actually lined up in the slot, and Koizumi goes that way. What a catch from the big boy. Left tackle Corey Anderson with the grab on that one.
You know what? He looked like a receiver out there despite him being 6'6", 324.
And he's still out there. He's in the slot once more. Koizumi from the gun trying to get out of trouble.
Ran the wrong way.
Instead. Briggs with the sack. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Ran the wrong way. Should have went left side. There was plenty of open space on that left side. 2 gaps. Went through the wrong one.
3rd and 9. 4:05 and counting. Koizumi just going to take off and run with it. Cuts it back in. Slides way too early. Got to be short.
Again.
A 4th and 4. They go again.
You got to go again. You're inside there. And yeah, I'm thinking, get a pass out of bounds so you can stop the clock too.
Certainly not at this point, though. 4th and 4, got to convert. Koizumi gonna check it down. No! McCray bobbled it. It is incomplete. Turnover on downs.
That one is rough because that was a wide open ball, and McCray bobbles it, and it's now Dallas football with 3:25 left.
That is absolutely oh man, just right off his fingertips. Couldn't reel that one in. McCray has had a night to forget collectively, and that man right there has had himself a whale of a ball game. 6 catches, 107 yards for Miles Savage, who has been getting free all over the St. Louis defense tonight.
Yeah, no passing touchdowns from Cameron Duty either, but they haven't needed it so far.
Duty play action. Retreats, sets his feet, fires far sideline, catch is made by Branch. That'll stop the clock momentarily at 3:20 with a gain of 2.
And still keeps the ball in their area. It's not like a super risky pass. It's a safe check down. Don't mind that from Duty and co.
Now an off-tackle run for Jaden Swift, takes on Will Todd, and Todd brings him down to the turf. Swift up to 91 yards, 3rd and short.
If I'm Dallas, I'm thinking about running that ball one more time. I really don't care about this situation. It's about basically shedding the clock off. Because after this play, they could probably get to the 2-minute warning after the run.
Carry goes to Swift. Plenty of room to operate as he gets out across midfield. And now St. Louis going to call their first time out.
Didn't have to do anything too silly. Just run forward. Don't need to do any, stylish moves to get away from anything. That is perfect blocking from your offensive line. And that's what Dallas has done all season for the running backs.
St. Louis has not been shut out in 2 UFL seasons. And they are looking their first shutout right dead in the eye as Swift gets another carry, another timeout. If St. Louis loses, they will host the winner of Chicago, New York on Tuesday, September the 8th. If Dallas wins, they will host the Great East Conference Championship, no matter if St. Louis is able to get themselves out of the loser bracket.
Now with 2 timeouts used outside the 2-minute warning, we're looking at dangerous territory here for St. Louis.
Carry for Swift. Not a whole lot of operating room. Timeout called. It is the last one for St. Louis. Big down here for both teams. If Dallas can convert, it's basically ball game. If St. Louis gets a stop, there's still a Wales chance.
If I'm Cameron Duty in Dallas, I'm thinking of maybe doing a spot play on this 3rd and 6, but they're going to go heavy set. This is screaming run.
And it's going to be a play action boot. Instead, Duty will just, instead his feet, he's going to throw it short. Brent, oh my goodness, Jaden Swift, he just won Dallas the ball game with that play. Unbelievable play.
Unbelievable. I thought he was dead to rights, 2 yards behind the first down marker, and he gets a spin move past 2 guys on that, sheds the tackle off. Whoop-de-doo, see you later. I'm going to get the first down. We're heading the 2-minute warning with a fantastic play from Jaden Swift.
Absolutely unreal. He gets by Joey Duncan the second, and then, like you said, Brett, little spin cycle, more broken ankles than a busted sidewalk, and we're out to the 2-minute warning. Dallas with a 13-0 lead here in St. Louis, looking to shut the door and get themselves to the Great East Conference Finals. Swift back to the ground game, trying to find some space. Ooh, he gets very, very close to the first down right away, gain of 9.
You know, again, Jaden Swift has been, that guy. He hasn't been, getting the brunt of the carries. He's not getting, a traditional amount. But when he's been given the ball, he's been managing to get those yardages that they needed.
Swift with the carry, and I think he got enough to move the sticks. He did. And that should just about do it there, Brett.
Yeah, this should set up victory.
A game.
Yeah, this was a complete defensive performance from Dallas. They only need the first quarter to score points. They made St. Louis, basically stagnant the entire game.
And if you're St. Louis, back to the drawing board. You shift down into the losers bracket. They will host the winner of Chicago and New York on Tuesday, September the 8th. But an absolutely bizarre game here. I mean, you had yourself a home playoff game. You were the #1 seed in the Great East Conference. And instead, you take the L, you move down to the losers bracket with an opportunity to redeem yourself and get to the conference finals.
And even so, it's not a guarantee either, because New York has been an unstoppable machine in the losers bracket, and Chicago has come out and played some great football in that losers bracket as well. So you can't just automatically assume St. Louis can just, bring things back. There is a lot of things that they need to fix in that drawing board so that they are prepared for the winner of Chicago, New York.
So Dallas the winner here, 13-0. They advance to the Great East Conference Finals, where they will host an eventual opponent. Again, we will have to see how the losers bracket shapes up. But man, what a win for the Talons, especially here on the road. Tough, gritty win here for Dallas to get themselves to the conference finals, Brett.
Yeah, massive win for Dallas, and that's a statement victory, because we've seen a lot of high-scoring matchups. We've seen a lot of instances where, it was going to be a gun show, but they didn't need to do that. They got the points in the first quarter, and they just dictated the pace of the entire game from start to finish, and that's what you need to do in high-pressure playoff situations.
And so St. Louis, they will go ahead and ride off into the locker rooms. They will go ahead and try and reset. Karen Koizumi just looking back on the field, knowing that her team missed a real opportunity tonight. It is what it is. That is the UFL playoffs, and that's why this double elimination format is just so interesting. Speaking of which, we got more UFL playoff football right around the corner for you. It is going to be Phoenix visiting Dakota. The winner will host the Western Conference Finals. over in that one. And boy, oh boy, they got some fun teams still left over on that side of the bracket. Dakota and Phoenix in the winners bracket. Meanwhile, Vegas and Salt Lake down in the losers bracket. Ooh, UFL playoffs are exciting, Brett. Any final thoughts before we let the people go?
No, the big thing was that Dallas just, dictated the game from start to finish, and now have themselves set up for the Great East Conference Finals to whoever they play. But the big thing here is, let's see how far Phoenix can go against what feels like a freight train known as Dakota. This is going to be their biggest test yet. We're going to see that at the bottom of the hour.
And they have gotten themselves quite lucky, some would say, during the regular season, and the luck continues. Now with them at the 1 seed and the 5, 6, and 7 seed, the only teams remaining on that side of the bracket. But that will be coming up here. We will get just a short break to go ahead and reset, and that will be brought to you with Mike Daggs and Ramos Lynn on the call. They will be in Sioux Falls to bring you that one. It has been our pleasure to bring you this one here. This has been a presentation of the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. For all things UFL, be sure to visit UFL.football. That is YOUFL.football. And as always, if you had half as much fun as we did, we had twice as much fun as you. Stick around. Same bad time, same bad channel. We will bring you more playoff football in just a moment.
Good evening, everybody. The West Conference Winners Bracket starts right now as the Dakota Rhinos, the number 1 Dakota Rhinos, host the number 5 Phoenix Skyhawks. Good evening. I'm Mike Daggs. With me in the booth, Joey Ramos-Lynn, along with your UFL co-founder and producer, Cameron Irvine. You are watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Joey, we should have a great one in store for us tonight. Dakota, they've had 13 wins in a row. Haven't lost since back in April. Meanwhile, Phoenix finishing the regular season 7-9. They're looking to try to advance. A lot of people have been questioning whether Dakota can keep up this level of a winning streak. 8 of their games in that 13-game window, one-score games. What are you looking forward to in this one tonight?
I mean, it just feels like Dakota hasn't lost ever.
Right.
They're trying to make it back. Yeah, trying to make it back to the championship game, and it starts here. They have the home crowd. It will take a monumental effort from Phoenix to win this game, but it's in the playoffs. It's just one game. It's just being the better team for 4 quarters, and if you're that team, you can just beat anybody.
Joe Tillo comes out onto the field for Phoenix. They're going to start off with the football tonight, getting an early shot at trying to win against the one-loss team and immediately getting a pass over the middle to Chris Andrews. The offense is made up of quarterback Joe Tillo. You've got DJ Simeon at halfback. Chris Andrews, Andy Sands, and DR Simeon are the wide receivers. Matthias Sansbino is the tight end. Tillo back to pass, throws middle again, and it's nearly intercepted right into the hands of Itachi Yuchi, and ball falls harmlessly to the turf.
Yeah, very lucky there. It wasn't intercepted. You see the starting offense. I think they need a big game from Simeon. The best way to beat a team like this good is if you can control the clock and keep the opposing offense off the field. You got to run the ball successfully.
Tillo's going to throw for the 3rd straight time. This one gets his target in the hands, but pass is broken up. Oh, they're going to count that as a catch? Okay, yeah.
Apparently they are, and we're going to see a challenge here. We're going to see a review. I don't think there's a chance. This is caught.
No, I mean, he had it.
He's inbounds. I mean, does that constitute a final, football move is the question.
Yeah, they marked it a first down and then Phoenix challenged. So I'm not sure who's challenging what. It's still a first down, though.
It is.
I don't know what just happened, Joey, but it's a first down. First down for Phoenix. Play clock rolling down, 1 second left. Pump fake, throws middle, and it is up in the air and bouncing around, almost picked off. What a weird start to the game. Let's talk about this Dakota defense. Menachem Pfister, Mordecai Pfister, Malachi Pfister, those are your defensive linemen. You got Suki Padri and Nuke Raiden at the linebacker position. Rick Kuhn, Itachi Uchiha, that name, I don't know, that name alone gives me dyslexia. And Trey Deuce, that is the secondary. I can't do it. I try my best. I will keep trying. We'll see how it goes. First run of the ball game by Simeon goes for a single yard. 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, and for a 3-4 defensive line, the Fisters really know how to get pressure on the quarterback. It's impressive to see how they can put the quarterback under duress with just 3 men.
Tillo back to pass, lofts one up, and it is complete. The tight end Sansbino makes the catch, takes a hit. Oh no, it's incomplete. Pass is broken up. I was wondering how he held on to that one after getting hit like that.
Yeah, and that's the second time they try to go middle of the field, and the ball squirms right there. Out of his hands. It's the second time he just lofts the pass up there. Instead of sipping it in and hitting the receiver with velocity, he just kind of floats it out there and allows the safety to just blow him up.
That's the thing. It was a nice lofted pass, but to your point, it did give the safety time to react. And react he did. Brenda Davis punts that one back to the 16-yard line, and Billy Flagg out onto the field now to lead these Rhinos on their first possession. Flagg back to pass, going to take off and run with it, slides for safety, and gains a few yards on the play. Flagg on his last outing versus Salt Lake City, 17 of 24, 178 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception.
Yeah, he knows how to take care of the ball, especially come playoff time. He's been awesome, last year as well, and this season. And when you wear number 28, you got to run too, and he's very good at scrambling.
Speaking of running, you got Liam Seitz in the backfield as well. He's had quite a season, and I'm expecting to see a bunch of him in this one, but Doug Day gets the reception and moves the sticks for the Rhinos.
Good decision, good throw. It's a quick slant, and Dakota is able to move the chains.
Day with only 1 catch for 13 yards in their last outing. Flagg rolls out right, throws over the middle, wide open, just picking apart this zone with ease as he gets it out to Day again, doubling his completion total from last time.
Yeah, and even if they hadn't run the ball with the running backs, just having Seitz in there just gives the defense, that alert that any play can be a run too. So they get full on the play action rollout, and Day get some positive yardage after the catch.
Ready? 30 base.
First down and 10 into Phoenix territory. Up at the 48-yard line. Pass out to the left is broken up, but they're going to call it a fumble. Picked up by Phoenix. Going back the other way, past the 20, the 10, the 5, and for now, it's going to be called a touchdown for Phoenix. But we might need to take another look at it and see what happened on that one. But Marvin Sandiego picks this one up. I don't know if that was actually a backwards pass, though. What do you think?
Might be a lateral. That's a bad angle to judge it from. At least on first glance, I thought it was a forward pass by just a little bit. We'll see if we definitely will get a boot review as it's a turnover and a score. As Watts was too, busy celebrating, his teammate just picks it up and brings it all the way for a touchdown.
Well, yeah, San Diego saw it there and said, if nobody else is going to grab it, I will. That play stands as called. Backwards pass, ruled a fumble, picked up by Marvin Sandiego and returned for the first points of the ball game. And Phoenix out in front, 7-0 now. Your updated bingo numbers at the bottom of the screen. They carry over from the game in the early blocks, so we've already got a whole slew of numbers there for you.
Hopefully we get some more.
Damon Simeon in the chat says, wow, what? He's just, he's excited his team is winning, but confused on how. Me too.
But me too, yeah. I think that's a great answer to what's been this chaotic first quarter. I don't know what's happening. We're only about 3 minutes in, and it's weird all over the place.
It's very weird. Yeah, we had Phoenix get a first down and then challenge it and then keep the first down. I'd have to watch that back and see what the call on the field was and what was challenged. I don't know. And then Dakota, the team that's just played so darn good all season long, and just their opening possession, a turnover. And you know how those points off turnovers can be devastating. Play action as they come back out. Flagg going for it all. One-on-one down the left side and underthrows his target. He threw it many, many meters, but not quite enough as we see the Phoenix defense here.
And I think the receiver just lost it on the lights probably.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty decent throw. It was a little bit short, but actually giving the opportunity for the receiver to come back to it and catch the ball. He just lost it.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe the Dax DroneWorks thing was
that's not even
distracting.
I
don't know. Maybe it was in his head.
No Flagg back to throw. He's going to go deep down the right side this time. A jumping one-handed catch. That time he reacted to the pass and hauls it in for a big gain.
It's like one of the catches of the year. That's an amazing catch there by Coco. just again throwing it up there on one-on-one coverage and allowing the receiver to make a play, and he just lost him. I mean, that looked like the and I'm sorry, the Justin Jefferson against the Bills a few years ago.
Oh, why though? How can't you say it looked like Odell Beckham Jr. against whoever they were playing?
Yeah, more like the Jefferson against the Bills.
Hey, stand your ground. Flag hands it off to Sights. The first Sights sighting of the evening. And that's a gain of 5. I've called several Dakota games, and Sights always seems to be a huge part of the offense. In the last outing versus Salt Lake, 20 carries, 103 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns as he gets back to it right there. Gains about 10 that time. 2 rushes, 16 yards.
Yeah. I mean, with those big shoulder pads, once he gets low, it's very hard to wrap him up.
Yeah.
It's right there, pretty good job there by the defense of Arizona, or Phoenix. But, it's also Dakota's offensive line, I think, is very underrated. They're very, very good.
Handing it off to back number 2 this time as Sights takes a breather. JR Lyons not able to pick up anything on that. 2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Here in this West Conference winners bracket tonight. Phoenix out in front early. Going back down to yet another backup, this time Higbee getting the 2-yard carry. And now it's a 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, outstanding open field tackle, by the way. I thought Higbee had probably a little bit of a crease to go even for a touchdown, but no dice.
4 wide receiver look here from the 13-yard line. Flag looking, firing, end zone, and it's nearly intercepted twice by this Phoenix defense. Neither one of them could haul it in, but great defensive stand there to hold Dakota to a field goal.
I don't know if I looked right. It just looked like the safety. Yeah, he just bounced it in bounds for the other defender to intercept it, but it was a little bit too low for him, and he wasn't able to make the interception.
A.J. Horn on for the field goal try for the Rhinos. Put some points on the board. Kick is up. Kick is good. And both teams now have points on the board. Phoenix 7, Dakota 3. Winner of this game will host the Western Conference Final. The loser of the game will go on to play the winner of the Salt Lake Vegas game. And that matchup will end up being on Tuesday, September 8th. Whoever the loser of this one is and the winner of Salt Lake Vegas will play Tuesday, September 8th. So the winner of this one hosts the Western Conference Final, Joey. So if Phoenix was to go on to win this one as the number 5 seed and Dakota makes it to the Western Conference Final, that game would actually be in Phoenix, even though Dakota is currently the number 1 seed. Just the way this playoff bracketing system works, there is the opportunity for Phoenix to host Dakota in the conference final.
Yeah, obviously everything on the line. Phoenix with a good start here, though, Mike. Offensively, they obviously won more production out of their offense in general, but defensively, good start.
Yeah, definitely a great start for their defense, scoring their only points of the game so far and, able to hold this potent Dakota offense to only 3 points between 2 possessions. So now what can the offense do? They've got to get something going here and help contribute to what their defense has done. Tillo, play action, ends up throwing it up top to Simeon, and DJ Simeon just not ready for that one. 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, turn your head, Simeon, you're an eligible receiver. Good decision there by the quarterback, though. I mean, just get the check down, make the catch, and you get at least a chance to make it a 3rd and very short.
Tillo to throw, blitz on its way, picked up, throws, and that one is complete, and room to run. Chris Andrews with the catch and the run, and able to pick up a big 1st down.
It's a big play. It's a big play, also for confidence. Because, again, the thing with Dakota is that they're a team that you just give them an inch and they will take a mile, kind of thing. Just one takeaway, one sack, one strip, something like that, and then they just become unstoppable. That's how they win so many games. It just, snowballs for opposing teams.
I'm just so proud of how fluidly you're able to use inches and miles in your analysis and not like centimeters and kilometers. I would have accepted that, though. Tillo, under pressure, decides to throw it away.
I mean,
you give them a centimeter, they take a kilometer.
Yeah. I mean, it will be very difficult to say, you just give them 2.54 centimeters and then take 1.6 kilometers.
Give or take. Second down and 10. Run down to the bottom, picks up a short gain for Simeon. He's got 3 rushing attempts so far, only 6 total yards. And again, Phoenix find themselves in a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, it's 3rd and 8. They've been able to convert on 1. This looks like man coverage. I will not be surprised with a deep shot here.
Tillo with 2 receivers at the top, 2 to the bottom. He goes to the one on the top. What a route. Great play design, by the Skyhawks there, as it's able to get that receiver in a wide open situation.
Yeah, what a route. I mean, I was thinking more so, vertical routes, but the fact that they were able to just get the confusion on the slot corner, in this case Price, he didn't know if he was going to cut inside, if he's going to run a post, and all of a sudden a sharp cut to the outside leaves him just completely wide open, and a good ball as well. Good decision by the QB.
Billy Flagg talking to himself on the bench. Pitch to Simeon, hitting the backfield and brought down for a loss on the play. And there goes basically all the yards he had gained so far tonight, as that big TFL made by Suki Padre.
It's tough. They're maybe the best defense in the UFL when it comes down to sideline to sideline. It's very, very difficult to run the ball to the outside against this team.
2nd down and 15. Can hand this one off again, hitting the backfield again, able to surge forward. Wells picks up a single yard, and another 3rd and long, this time very long, 3rd and 13.
Yeah, 3rd and very long. Here you are already in field goal range. You throw the ball deep. If nothing is open, throw it out of bounds.
Tillo, end zone. That one's incomplete. I like the thought. Sansbino just unable to haul it in, and they're gonna have to settle for a field goal.
Really good ball. Again, it's a really, really good throw. Throwing it up there and high, so the defender cannot intercept it. But that's an amazing defensive play. Not giving up on that one, and fighting through the receiver to jar the ball loose.
41-yard field goal try coming up from the right hash. Zachary Anderson on to kick. Kick is on its way, and it is good. Phoenix able to score their first points off of an offensive drive by their kicker. They extend their lead to 10-3. And, when Dakota played Phoenix earlier on in this season, Joey, Dakota got the win 24-3. So Phoenix already able to put up more points in this one than they did in that one. Thanks to the Marvin San Diego scoop and score. But we've seen DJ Simeon struggle in this one so far, and he struggled in that one too. He only had 8 carries, but only 28 yards to show for those 8 carries. Meanwhile, Billy Flagg, the quarterback for Dakota, rushed for over 120 yards on just 9 carries himself.
Yeah.
That game back in early July. One of Dakota's best biggest wins on the season. They had some, others, as well that had a good margin of victory. But with so many of their games being a 1-score game, for them to really take it to a team by 3 touchdowns was something that they needed to do to prove how successful they can be. And now playing that same team down by 7, but Stites able to pick up a first down on his first carry of this possession.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, Dakota normally is not in this kind of position, especially at home. It's still early in the game. It's only 1 possession, but normally they get off to a lead, right? Normally they get off, first, next thing you know, it's 14-0 Dakota, and they're running wild. This is different for them.
Flag gonna uncork another long one. Oh, that one's picked off. Intercepted by the same defender that alley-ooped it from going out of bounds on the last possession and almost got a pick on that one. This time he does get the takeaway, and now it's +2 in the turnover column for Phoenix.
Wow. Just, again, reading the eyes of the receiver that time as well, and just getting in good position, a little bit underthrow one more time, right?
Yeah.
It's similar to that other one, was the opposite side of the field. Just a little bit underthrown. The player trailing just gets the interception, and Phoenix, very impressive defensively, how they have been able to get a couple of takeaways, 1 touchdown defensively, and just 3 points allowed.
I'm interested to see how many more times Flag uncorks a deep pass as Simeon stuffed right at the line. No gain on the play. Flag now 1 for 3 on those big ones, Joey. The first one down the left sideline, receiver didn't even react to it, but neither did the defensive back. So that's why I'm thinking you're right. It got lost in the lights. Second one, a great one-handed catch that reminded us of Odell Beckham Jr. That one for a loss of 2, and that's the only person it reminded us of. And now the third one intercepted. Oh, stop. Why do you gotta be that way?
It's fun. But hey, again, what I was saying in the previous drive, running the ball outside is just very difficult for against Dakota. They seal the edges extremely well, and this is safety potential territory here.
It really is from the 1 yard line. A 3rd down and 13. But first, the longest walk in football from one yard line all the way to the other as the first quarter comes to a close. You're watching the Western Conference Winners Bracket on the Virtual Football Network. Ball is handed off in the end zone. Gets it out, but barely. He'll gain a yard in 7 rushes for -1 yards. There's a reason that Dakota has the number 2 rush defense this season.
Yeah, you don't know where the blitz is coming from with Dakota. That's the thing. It can come from a couple of the linebackers. It can come from a safety. It can come from the nickel corner. They just mix it up all in every which way.
Oh,
that's roughing
wow.
the kicker. Well, roughing the punter, rather.
Same thing. It's roughing. I'm interested, is it roughing or running into? Oh, that's a personal foul. Wow. Joey, what a break for Phoenix, because they're going to have a first down all the way up at their own 17. They were backed up to their 2, having to punt, and now they have a fresh set of downs 15 yards out.
Yeah, it's just a big mistake here for Dakota. You at least have the ball back with decent field position, and now you give Phoenix some extra life.
And they're going to try to stick to this run game, and I respect that. Try to keep it going, and this time, Simeon, he got so excited that he ran too close to the sideline and stepped out of bounds. He tackled himself, but a first down for the Skyhawks.
That's an outstanding play by Simeon, though, being able to break that tackle spin and you just keep his balance, and then the breakaway speed to get away from Pfister. And as you said, he kind of was just looking at what the next defender was and lost track of the sidelines.
Back into positive yardage goes Simeon. First down up at the 29-yard line. Going to go right back down to Simeon, trying to play the hot hand. He'll only gain a yard on this one, 2nd and 9.
It keeps the defense honest, though. I mean, even if it's only 1-2 yards, the passing will come next. We saw a great slant route thrown by Phoenix a couple drives ago.
Tillo, quick pass, middle. Oh, splits the 2 defenders and able to connect with Andy Sands. 3rd down and 4.
Pretty wide open playbook here. We're going to go 4 receivers. I'm expecting some sort of shallow crosses, something quick.
Tillo looks, fires as he's hit and completes it on the sidelines. And they'll move the sticks again. All kinds of breathing room now, Joey. This drive starting back at their own, 5? And then it went all the way back to the 1 and now all the way back out to midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, getting rid of the ball quickly is very important. The pressure is absolutely coming. You have to get rid of the ball quickly and just find what the open receiver is. They're just leaving defenders on the secondary right there on an island. So it's one-on-one, and if you choose right, you can pick up a part of defense.
Simeon with some nice blocks and gets into open space. Rushes forward to the 41-yard line in Dakota territory.
Great. The offensive line is starting to heat up a little bit. They're starting to play better here in the second quarter as Simeon gets another big carry. It was tough at the start, but it's getting better, and that's why you stick with the game plan and you stick with the rush.
First down and 10. Tillo throws. That one is complete. And good for another first down. 7 of 13, 104 yards. No touchdowns, but no interceptions. Tillo had 2 picks in their first meeting back in July. Flagg also had 2 picks on the other side. He has thrown 1 in this one.
Yeah. If you just kind of like if you didn't know, you had to guess, which one is a team that hasn't lost since April, you might think it's Phoenix. They're playing extremely well.
They're playing really well right now. And right on cue, he throws it right to the middle linebacker and nearly gets intercepted.
Just throwing into a pretty tight coverage, 2nd and 10. But again, already in scoring position, already in field goal range. Don't lose it. Don't get sacked.
Ball is handed off, and Simeon is, at some point you got to turn up field and see what you can do. Only gained a yard on that one after running about 10 yards to get that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lane right behind his right guard to at least get a few.
Yeah, now it's a 3rd down and 9. Empty backfield, 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Tillo under pressure, and he's going to go down. Sacked on the play by Pfister.
Yep, and they drop 8 in coverage that time. They've been sending blitzes, but again, it's impressive how with 3 defenders, with 3 rushers, they can get the pressure on the quarterback. And I'm afraid this will be about a 55-yard field goal attempt on the road if Phoenix dares to attempt a field goal.
Yeah, I'm
Who
interested
knows?
to
Maybe
see.
too far.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely were in field goal range, but I'm not sure if this one's quite in Anderson range here. And no, they're not going to try it as they send Davis back out to punt, trying to now pin Dakota back deep. But, honestly, Joey, if I'm the coach for Phoenix, especially now, I'm going to declare that drive a win, even though they didn't get any points. They were backed up to their own 1-yard line, and and they had to punt. It was at the 2 when they punted, but they had to punt that one out of their end zone. A penalty, roughing the kicker, gave them new life, and now they were able to completely flip the field, and they pinned Dakota back at their own 3.
Yeah, take time off the clock, gas, further tire the defense.
Yep.
And, again, Dakota is a team that can put a lot of points, but you cannot put a lot of points if you're not on the field.
Very true. Well, tell that to Phoenix, who scored the only touchdown of the game, and that was when the defense was on the field. So sometimes the defense can score. 2-yard gain on that run. 2nd down and 8 from the 5-yard line. Flagg under center. Hands it off to Seitz. Seitz finds a little bit of room, but that window immediately closed. And he is brought down on the play for a gain of 3.
3rd and 5 here. Let's see if they come with some pressure, Phoenix. Let's see if they try to hurry up the quarterback a little bit. He can run too.
Flagg in the gun. They only send 4. Flagg decides to take off and run with it. Gets the first down. Fumbles the football. Picked up by Phoenix. And they're heading back towards the end zone. Tackled at the 11-yard line. 3 takeaways now for this Skyhawk defensive crew.
Wow. Just, again, one guy kind of like stands him up and then goes directly to the football. That's something that you coach. That's something that you train, especially when you go against a quarterback, right? I mean, he's used to carrying the ball, but he is not a traditional running back. He doesn't have that sort of technique. And so if he wants to run over you, you know, you have a chance to stand him up and just find the ball. And Arizona with a golden opportunity to go up to touchdowns.
Yeah, definitely. Phoenix at the Dakota 11. Oh, nearly gives it right back. That pass broken up, but yeah, great job by the Phoenix defense to take advantage of the fact that the quarterback was running. You know, I mean, they got him after a short gain. Imagine letting a quarterback run against your defense for like 60 yards in one play. That'd be wild.
That could never happen to me.
Yeah, Simeon with a carry for no gain again. In fact, another 1 yard loss.
Especially
They're down
if
in
you're a
11.
broken play. How does that happen?
You know what, Joey? It really shouldn't.
No. I feel bad for the defensive coordinator who lets that happen.
Yeah, I don't at all feel bad for
That
him.
must be embarrassing.
I would hope. they're down at 11. From the 12, they actually can get a first down without scoring here. Tillo passes end zone wide open, and the first offensive touchdown of the board is awarded to the Skyhawks.
Wow. Another, first of all, good protection, and second of all, a great route. I mean, to be just that wide open in the end zone, you know, probably they were expecting some sort of corner or, you know, something back of the end zone, the defense was, but it's just a curl, and he stops right there at the goal line, touchdown Phoenix, and they're up 2 touchdowns.
Through the first 5.5 quarters of games tonight, Joey, the 2 number 1 seed teams have scored a combined 3 points. St. Louis put up absolutely nothing in the game previous to this one, and Dakota with only 3 points tonight. Your updated bingo numbers at the bottom of the screen. It's the underdogs that are coming out to play in this one.
Yeah. Again, you know, it's still a long time, still a lot to play, but when it comes to the playoffs, like it just takes you being the better team for one game.
That's
This
it.
is not a series. You know, this is not, you know, a round robin bracket. You know, it's just you being the better team for one game. And if you are, it doesn't matter if you're 7-9 or 12-4, whatever your record is, you can just beat anybody if you play at your very, very best.
You can. You know, the our beloved Rochester Pioneers, you know, finishing the regular season at 5-11, the number 8 seed. You know, I don't think anybody expected us to win any games. So we're out of the playoffs now, but yeah, we won some. Flag going to go right back down to the ground and run with it himself again. 2 hands for safety, Billy. And gets it up to midfield before finally being tackled. But 34 yards on the ground now for Flag. Once again, he's out in front of Simeon on the other side.
Yeah, and nobody to contain there. No quarterback spy. Watts, again, is right there to make the stop, as well as Martin. But that's a great play here for Dakota. And one that really, you know, you always have to look for Flag. You know, is one player that can unbalance your entire defense. You have to account him on every play.
Flag to Sights trying to find some room to work and gains 5 yards on the play. 2nd down and 6 coming up.
A lot of times here, still in the second quarter, 4 minutes. No need to rush.
Back down to the ground. First down picked up by Lions. As he's only had a couple of touches, but they've been somewhat successful so far. Fresh set of downs now for the Rhinos.
Set 50, plant. Keep it up, guys. Ready.
First down and 10 from the Phoenix 34. Sights able to find some room to work. Picks up about 9. Now with 48 yards on the day.
Yeah, this is more of the Dakota offense. You know, getting those chunk plays on the ground. You know, first by Flag and then by Sight.
Strong left, strong left, strong left. Keep grip.
2nd down and 1. Sights. Oh, hitting the backfield this time. And this Phoenix defense was ready for that one.
Yeah, sure. They sure were. Stood up right there in the middle. Great block shed. right there, just with a little bit of a club move. It's Lynch. Gets in the backfield, and you know, I know Lynch is a big man, but sides sits too, and it's not easy to stop him right there and drive him backwards.
Let's go, D.
They're down in 3 now. In field goal range. Flag, quick pass, wide open target. Actually had a couple of options there, but completes that one to Tony Horn Jr., the tight end.
Really good play. Good timing on that one, especially by Flag. We look at the replay, and he just throws the ball a little bit back, you know, allowing the receiver to come back to the ball and not allow Watts to have a chance at it.
Yeah, I'd like to say that was a back shoulder pass, but it was a little low. That was more like a right cheek pass. You know what I mean. 2 minutes to go here in the opening half of the Western Conference winners bracket. Dakota down by 2 touchdowns, looking to fix that, and nearly throws an interception. I at first thought that was going to be picked, and then I thought it was a touchdown pass, but it was incomplete.
Very close. Again, from being a touchdown, and as you said, you know, from being intercepted, and Phoenix is just close to the ball on almost every play.
Elijah Goff almost picked that one off. Flag hit as he throws, completes it. Horn with the catch. 3rd down and 5 now.
Yeah, getting half of it is good, though. Getting half of it, the clock keeps running, so, you know, Dakota also wants to be the last team to score here in the first half.
Flag standing at his own 22, has all day. Throws down to the 1 yard line, and that one is caught, stepping out of bounds. 1st down and goal now from the 1.
Great comeback. You know, you may think, you know, why, you know, just running out of your end zone. But again, that's exactly what Phoenix is protecting. They're protecting the end zone. So you throw the comeback, and a great ball, good job on the sideline to catch it in bounds. And you still have a lot of time to punch it in from 1 yard, especially when you have sights in the backfield.
Well, it looks like they've got Lyons back there right now. Yep. Lyons takes the handoff, hit, and walks into the end zone for the touchdown. Dakota cuts into Phoenix's lead. They get their first touchdown on the board tonight.
A nasty stiff arm to get into the end zone. Good defensive play, originally by Gates on getting into the backfield and, put hands on Lyons, but Lyons able to just shove him aside. And that's a big time drive here for Dakota, right? Especially if they can make a stop here on defense and just go into the half down 1 score only. Yes. That's going to be crucial for the Rhinos and their momentum and their confidence.
Add number 1 to your bingo cards. Updated numbers at the bottom of the screen. Phoenix defense frustrated after that drive. They've played so well, but backed up Dakota all the way to their own 5, if I remember correctly. So a very lengthy drive allowed by a defense that's just getting a little bit tired right now. But, part of what probably plays into it, Joey, is Phoenix, if you don't remember the last time you saw them playing at home, there's a reason. Because they have played 9 of their last 11 games on the road, including this one tonight. That travel certainly is difficult as well and can tire out some players. But that's just a wild stat. 9 of 11 games on the road.
Yeah, but it can also just get you accustomed to playing on the road under to some hostile environments, and then it's not too foreign for you. Even though Dakota is one of the best home field advantages in the league, and they're by all accounts the best team in the UFL. Just getting accustomed to playing on the road can also be a benefit when you have to play in these games in the playoffs.
That is true. So Tillo back out onto the field on offense. 8 of 16, 116 yards under pressure and sacked again. 9-yard loss on the play. Pfister with his 2nd on the day.
Telling you, man, this defensive line, now they bring in 4 guys. You have to know to get rid of it. throw it to the dirt in the direction of a receiver, just get out of the pocket, throw it out of bounds. Getting an 11-yard loss on this one. Low-key gives the Rhinos a chance of potentially even getting the football back if they dare to call a timeout.
Yeah, under a minute to go. They certainly could if they wanted to, though. Tillo letting all the clock tick away, hands it off to Simeon, who turns it upfield promptly and gains a good chunk of yards. He'll pick up about 6 on that one. Timeout called with 43 seconds to go. And that timeout was actually called by Phoenix, Joey. I'm surprised.
Yes.
They call a timeout, with a 3rd and 15.
I mean, you have to be very confident.
Yeah, well, they've just dialed up their best 3rd and 15 play. Here it is, handoff to Simeon. And a timeout is called again, this time by Dakota. And I would imagine that the coaching staff of the Rhinos has to be kind of scratching their heads and thinking, thanks, Phoenix. Appreciate you saving us the timeout.
Absolutely. 4th and 16 with 40 seconds. If Dakota can get, hopefully for them, they don't rough the kicker again, right? But if they can get a decent return, they have a good chance of at least going to the half down just 4.
Yeah, they're going in a punt return coverage here with blockers and making some moves up to the 39-yard line. I think they learned their lesson from the last time, Joey, because they only sent a few guys forward and were content with being blocked far away from the punter. So let's see what Flag and the Dakota offense does here now with really about, 25 yards to field goal range. Flag decides to try to take off and run with it and runs into a defender, and timeout is called with only a 3-yard gain.
Yeah, that's not a great play right there from Flag. He had, I believe, more room on the inside, and just 3 yards to take that many seconds off, about 6-7 seconds off the clock. It's not great, but with one timeout still, they can throw the ball in the middle of the field if they want to.
They can. They certainly can. Flag in the shotgun. He will pass this time. Has time, decides to take off and run. And sacked in the backfield for a big loss. And now neither team calling a timeout, as they'll be content to take this one to the half, a 1-score ball game.
Running into the sack. That's a couple of tough plays here for Cooper Flag. Just not looking at the white jerseys pretty much. He's just looking at the space, but not looking at the white jerseys. Yeah,
I almost think maybe that's all he was looking at was the white jerseys, because 2 plays in a row, that's all he did was run straight into, he got what they call, motorcycle riders call it object fixation, where while you're riding, you see something and you can't take your eyes off of it, and then you end up riding right into it, like a tree branch in a road or a pothole or something. So I think he saw the defender and stared him down, ran right into him twice. Dakota burns their final timeout. Going to try to go for, a 66-yard Hail Mary here. And they go with the 6-yard variety instead. And Joey, this is the half that won't end. Clock stopped with 1 second to go.
You got that right. And, I'm almost thinking, let's see where the ball is at. The 43-yard. I don't think, maybe he doesn't have enough arm. I mean, 1 second, 4th down, maybe you just throw it up for grabs and see if at least you can get a defensive pass interference or something.
Yeah.
But they're going to elect to punt.
Well, the bizarre decision-making by both teams continues to impress. And that one bounces into the end zone, and that is the way the first half will come to a close. So we've seen a fumble, scoop, and score. We've seen a challenge to their own first down. We've seen interceptions on deep bombs. We've seen receivers not even go for the catch on deep bombs. But here we are at the half. Phoenix is up in front, 17-10. The number 5 seed out in front of the number 1 seed. Dakota been in a bunch of 1-score games. Joey, they find themselves in another one. Can they make the magic continue and pull off another 1-score victory? Or is tonight Phoenix's night?
Yes. For Phoenix, rather, they have to just keep the pressure on defense, and offensively, just don't turn the ball over. You can get one more score, that's going to be huge for the Skyhawks, but I think for them it's going to be on their defense to, you know, again, do what they did in the first half. They did a great job in that first half, and for Dakota, they just need to get those big explosive plays in the running game, especially, you know, get Sights and Cooper Flag, run read option, and, you know, just the ground game, I think, will be their best ally here in the second.
Well, we'll get the ball teed up and ready to go here as Dakota will get the first crack at it here in the second half. They did have a nice opportunity to double dip if they were able to score some points there at the end of the first. But it was not to be. Kick deep in the end zone. They'll kneel it down for the touchback. Ball comes out to the 25-yard line. And, you know, Liam Sights has always been such a huge part of this defensive game plan, as we highlight J.R. Lyons and his 3 rushes for 12 yards. But Sights has had some nice runs, but not as many as I was expecting so far.
Yep.
Gets one there and is able to surge forward for a gain of about 8 or 9 yards, and 9 carries, 53 yards. So first half, less than 50. Yeah, I'm expecting more. I really think that we'll see a bigger half here from Sights.
Yes.
As he gets another one right there, almost able to get the first down. See where they spot it. They will mark it as a 3rd and inches.
Interesting spot. I think it's a good call. Give it to Sights again. Maybe weak side, you know, top of the screen this time.
7 on the line for the Skyhawks. They hand it off to Sights. Walks right through for the first down and more. And I think I would have bet my house that Sights was going to be able to get the first down there. We have seen some TFLs. It's not like the Skyhawks defense can't do it. But a guy with 6-foot-tall shoulder pads usually is able to surge forward for an inch at minimum.
Yeah.
Let's go. AT Gators. All day, play. All day.
First down and 10 from the 41. Flag in the gun. Flag throws middle. That one is complete. Short gain. Oh, and then face mask. Personal foul variety. So that's going to be 15 yards tacked on to the 5-yard gain.
That's a tough break here for Phoenix. Phoenix has been playing, you know, smart and clean throughout this game so far, and yeah, he knows it. I mean, it's a clear face mask, and
yeah, when those are the opportunities that,
those are the opportunities that you don't want to give Dakota.
Definitely not. I mean, they've been playing so well, to your point. +3 in the turnover differential column. They've netted points immediately off a turnover with a scoop and score. They got their second touchdown off of another Billy Flag fumble that was recovered. So they've scored points off turnovers and capitalized, but silly mistakes like that, they can't afford them. And now jumping off sides. Playing very sloppy here to start the second half, Joey.
Still second down.
Second down and 6 now.
Yeah, it just brought, I don't know, maybe it's the halftime, Mike. You know, it just gives you a time to think about, you know, the implications of the game, and maybe they're starting to feel a little bit of the pressure.
Oh, wow. Just bouncing right off of the defender. Lions with a nice rush on that one, able to get a first down. Yeah, too much sugar at the half. I think it's making them jittery and make silly decisions. I blame the energy drinks. You don't really know what's in those things. Flag back to throw, short pass, middle. Man, I thought he just got face masked again.
2nd and 8. These are the downs that, you know, Arizona or Phoenix, Arizona or Phoenix, whatever you want to call it. You know, they have to put them on and just force them to throw the ball.
Sights going to run it. He'll go forward for a gain of 3. I mean, Phoenix is in Arizona, but it's like when the Mexico City Aztecs get referred to as Mexico. It's like, well, that's kind of vague.
It is. Well, the United States against Dakota.
Exactly. They're down in 4. Play action. Flag rolls, throws middle. Oh, right into a trio of defenders. And somehow Doug Day able to haul it in for his 4th catch on the night.
Maybe the best throw of Flag here in the game. He just throws that on a rope in front of the defender. Day makes the catch. And Dakota, I mean, for as good as Phoenix has played in this game, Dakota just 7 yards away from tying this one up.
First and goal from the 7. Seitz takes the handoff, dragging some defenders with him. Able to gain a couple of yards. 2nd down.
And these are tricky situations, Mike. You know what to do. 2nd and goal. I would probably say you run it one more time.
Yeah, I would with Seitz. He's good for at least 5. They're going to try it. And the defense says absolutely not. He's good for nothing. 3rd down and goal from the 5 now, and I would imagine we'll either see Flag throw it or watch for Flag to try to take it in himself.
Man-to-man coverage. Look out for this one.
Coco in motion. Flag to throw. Fires end zone. No, he's caught short of the end zone and actually tackled at the 3-yard line after only a gain of 2.
And you have to take the points here if you're Dakota. I know that, you know, going for it and, you know, tying this one right here is, you know, it's something that you want to do, but I just take the points and make it a 4-point game. You have to come away with points after a long drive.
Yeah, agreed. As AJ Horn on to kick. But speaking of Horn, I'm pretty sure that ball was intercepted by Coco. I don't think
Pretty
that's
much
where Flag was going. He had Tony Horn Jr. pretty much wide open in the back of the end zone, coming on a post route, and you know, Coco had to like jump and twist to his left to catch that ball. I think he picked it off. So Flag intercepted by his own team.
Pretty much, but good drive here by Dakota. You know, they did a good job running the ball, throwing the ball as well. It's the 4-point game, and you put pressure on Phoenix, right? You put pressure on the Skyhawks that they have to put more points on the board. You know, with still a quarter and a half to go. You know, Phoenix cannot just be, you know, complacent and just, you know, kind of sit on it. They have to, you know, go for more points and try to retake the 2-possession lead that they had just in the second quarter.
Yeah, now down to a 4-point ball game, and this kick about halfway down into the end zone. Rapid Raccoon agrees that he thinks Flag was looking for Horn there. So 1st down and 10 for the Skyhawks. Still start with the ball thrown 25-yard line. Ball is handed off to Simeon, and his struggles continue. 15 rushes, 31 yards. He gains only a single yard there.
Not much doing. But again, it keeps the Dakota defense thinking of that run, and, you know, taking the clock down is good.
Going to go right back down to him
There
this
it is.
time with some room to run. Gets up past the 40-yard line. And when he's got some solid blocking, he's definitely got the speed to pick up some big yards. He got the blocking he needed there.
You know, he's averaging 3 yards a carry, but that's some of the weirdest average of 3 yards a carry you'll see.
Oh, very much
You know,
so.
normally you think it's like 4-yard rushes and some 3, some 5, some 2. It's been either like a 2-yard loss or a 1-yard gain or like a 15-yard run. Like it's been all over the place.
Joey, at one point we saw the stat line 6 rushes for -1 yard.
Yeah.
Play action for Tillo. Throws over the middle, gets about half of what they were looking for there. Tillo now 9 of 17, 120 yards and a touchdown. Played a clean game so far. Again, Phoenix +3 in the turnover department tonight.
Yeah, and Phoenix smart also to chew down the clock. They're taking the clock down.
Simeon takes the handoff and smartly cuts it right upfield between the hole. Found the running lane, and 3rd down and inches. I thought he had the first there.
Worth a challenge here for Phoenix, because I agree. I think the nose of the ball was right there on the line. Unofficial line, of course, but it was very, very, very close.
They'll keep Simeon in the backfield. Tillo now in the gun. Inches to go, and he's going to pass down the left side and finds his target at the 37-yard line, stepping out of bounds with the completion, Chris Andrews.
Those comebacks and out routes have worked really well for the Skyhawks in this game. You know, they're respecting the speed of the receivers and the fact that a deep shot can come at any point, especially on 3rd and inches from right around midfield. You know, kind of like sometimes coaches are taught, offensive coordinators are taught to just take the deep shot. If you don't convert, that's fine. Maybe we go for it on 4th and inches. Really good job on the comeback.
First down and 10. My brain was already on the fact that they are in scoring range now, but not quite that far down the field. 2nd down and 5 now.
Long sustained drive here for Phoenix. They're taking the clock down some more.
Yeah, this is exactly what they needed. You know, they'd love to get some points on the board, as that one nearly intercepted. But you know, even I don't know if I'd say more importantly, but equally as important is trying to drain this clock and shorten the game. 3rd down and 5 coming up. Again, in field goal range, but not by a lot. And Tillo can't afford a sack here. Tillo takes the snap, throws a lofting pass, and that one is complete, but it is out of bounds, so it will not count. Simeon steps out of bounds with the catch.
Yep. I think on first glance, clearly out of bounds. We're going to take a look at this replay. Catches the ball, second foot is out.
Yeah, very out. Trey Deuce.
Great job by Trey Deuce, too.
Yeah. Yeah, forced Simeon to have to get to the sideline there.
Yep. Long field goal here.
This one from about 49 yards out. From the right hash. Line drive kick right through the uprights. It is good. And Phoenix able to capitalize on the last 2 outings. Joey with the defense holding Dakota to a field goal, and now the offense able to muster a field goal of their own. They reclaim their touchdown lead.
They do, and it's a great, you know, sign for Phoenix to at least to raise that field goal that Dakota was able to get in the previous drive. So we're basically back to square one to what we were to start the half, right? So good job by Phoenix getting the sustained drive, and a defense that has only allowed 1 touchdown in the Skyhawks. Yeah. You know, they like what they see so far.
Dakota beating the Salt Lake Hornets in their last outing, their first playoff game of this postseason, 35-17. They beat Austin in their last regular season game, 38-35. So, you know, again, no strangers to putting up points. But tonight, only 13 on the board. Their offense back out on the field now. Try to see if they can get this one knotted up at 20 apiece. Flag gonna run with it past the 30. Tries to stiff arm a defender and remembers that he doesn't know how. Tackled by Vinny Zonka, the cornerback for the Skyhawks.
But again, I like his decision making. Nothing open, you use your legs, you get 9 and make it a 2nd and very short.
Play clock down to 5. 5-step drop for Flag, fires down to the bottom, and that one almost a pick six, Joey. Fernando Hernandez could have walked that one in if he had been able to bring it in.
A big-time play here for both teams.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 1. What will they do? They hand it off to Seitz. Seitz hit behind the line, but breaks the tackle and keeps surging forward. Zylan Gates had his hands on Seitz for a loss, and Seitz says, no, sir. Keeps on going, gets the 1st down.
You know, when the ball was handed off, I thought for sure he was going to have like 10 yards. And then the defender comes out of nowhere, and I thought that was going to be a loss of 3.
Yes.
And eventually Seitz breaks that tackle, puts a player in the dirt, and again,
he shrugs him off with the arm that he's holding the ball in.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't stiff arm him. He just like kind of throws his shoulder like, get off me, I'm running here. Sights right back down to the ground, and that time a little bit of revenge sought by Martin. And to pick up a 5 after a punishing tackle. 30 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Flag throws up top, wide open target, getting the first down. Elko, that time he was actually the intended target, Joey.
Yeah, he was. Did a really good job of, turning upfield, turning the corner and getting the first.
Likely the final play of the third quarter. Flag will throw middle. That one is complete. A nice gain all the way up to the 31-yard line, and that is where the third quarter will come to a close. 3 quarters down, 12 minutes remains here in the Western Conference winners bracket. The Rhinos, they trail by 7, but they have the ball. They're on the move. You're watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Daggs. He is Joey Ramos-Lynn. Appreciate you joining us tonight. And we're into the end zone for the touchdown. First play of the fourth quarter. And Billy Flagg finds Doug Day once again. And we are an extra point away from getting this one all tied up. A great job by Doug Day getting that catch. I mentioned earlier on that he only had 1 reception for 13 yards in their win against Salt Lake. And he's got a whole lot more than that in this one, and now a touchdown to boot.
Yeah, really good play there by both quarterback and receiver. And they're just an extra point for tying this one up. Again, if I have to give the momentum of this game, I think Phoenix has had the upper hand about 65 to 70% of the game. But that's what makes Dakota so dangerous. Even when they're not playing at their best throughout an entire game, they still can beat most teams in the UFL.
And number 31 comes off your bingo cards. Updated numbers at the bottom of your screen. We had a 49-yard field goal and now a 31-yard passing touchdown. Of course, 20 already off the board. Both teams with 20 apiece. So only 4 seconds into the fourth quarter, Joey, and we've got a whole new ball game.
Absolutely, and talk about pressure again. I've said that word a few times already. Phoenix, right? How do you respond? It's still a whole quarter to go. You were able to put points on the board on the last drive and move the ball really well, but now Dakota, also their defense has to be smelling a little bit of blood in the water.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, you'll remember at one point the score line looked like this. It was Phoenix 17, Dakota 3. And, how the turntables have turned. 20-20 now. And Joe Tillo, 10 of 20, 130 yards and a touchdown. He's playing a clean game, but I wouldn't necessarily call it a very efficient game. 50% completion percentage in a run game that just can't get going. We'll see what they're able to do here on this one. Tillo back to pass. Throws a nice, safe, complete pass to Sansbino on the out route. Good for a first down.
Yeah, good ball. Good ball, good throw. And, the passes that he's been able to complete, though, they've been really good throws.
Tillo down to the bottom this time. Working these out routes, Joey, it's a nice way to make sure your defender's the only one with access to the pass.
Hey, they've loved those outside passes, attacking the numbers and outside of the numbers towards the sidelines.
Yeah.
That's been where Tillo has been at his best. And quickly moving the ball down the field past the midfield stripe.
Simeon extending his arms as far as he could to haul that one in. And the coach running down the sideline to congratulate him or something. I don't know what he was doing. Already into Dakota territory. Tillo passes again with the out route. Sansbino gets the catch and then face masked himself.
Face mask. Defense.
Dude almost decapitated.
He sure did, yeah. Nuke Raiden, the guilty party. And now we've seen a personal foul face mask penalty by both of these squads. And, you know, that was kind of the undoing of Phoenix in the third quarter, was penalties and just silly mistakes. And now Dakota looking like in the fourth quarter, maybe it's their turn. Tillo down to the 5. That one is complete by Simeon again, and it's a first and goal. They'll spot it at the 6.
Again, you know, when Phoenix has had to answer the bell here in the second half, they've been able to. Decent pressure from the Rhinos, but a much better throw and catch by the Skyhawks. And this has been all passing here for Phoenix.
Seems like the Skyhawks have maybe decided to, well, at least give up on DJ Simeon for right now. As DR Simeon gets that catch, they will throw once again. Not a lot of room to work with, and that one's nearly intercepted. That's the danger of throwing down in this area, Joey. There's not a lot of field here.
Especially when you float it again. We haven't seen that from Phoenix ever since the first quarter. When he floated a couple passes, he's been able to throw a little bit with more sip on the ball, but that one just floated out there.
Play action, fires middle. That one is caught. Touchdown for the Skyhawks, and they reclaim their lead.
And that was a laser, and that was Simeon's drive at the end, catching a couple of great balls from the quarterback there, just back of the end zone, getting both feet in bounds, just barely right there, touchdown. A lot of time left, but again, Phoenix answers the call.
Yeah, Simeon playing in the slot on that last play, and they will review it, but it looked nice and clean to me. But Simeon in the slot just worked his way right to that open spot in the back of the end zone. I don't think there's any question there, Joey. Simeon definitely had possession of the ball. I guess it moved a little bit there, but I still see 2 feet after the ball moved.
Yeah, every scoring play is reviewed as normal, but I don't think there's any doubt.
And the points do stay on the board, and Anderson on for the extra point try. Kick is on its way. Kick is good, and Phoenix 27, Dakota 20. And I'm going to remind everybody, the winner of this game will host the Western Conference Final. So that's right, you might see the number 5 Skyhawks hosting the West Conference Final. The loser of this game will go on to play whoever wins Salt Lake versus Vegas, and that matchup will take place on Tuesday, September 8th. So a lot of football left here in the UFL playoffs. And, excited to see what happens. You know, because, again, as I mentioned earlier on, there's always a chance that Dakota makes it through. If Dakota was to lose, there's a chance that they could make it through to the Western Conference Final and play Phoenix again if Phoenix was to win this one. And that game would be in Phoenix, where the Skyhawks have barely played over the last few months.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now Dakota, again, 9 minutes and 53 seconds. They've been doing some great work on offense over the last really couple of quarters. And the running game is starting to be very dangerous, and so has been Day. Day has been awesome.
Yeah, he's been on fire, and Flag has been getting him the ball as often as possible. Going to go down the left side, and that one is, now they're going to say incomplete. I think that one could have gone either way, but maybe only 1 foot down. Second down and 10.
And again, worth a challenge. I don't know about that one.
Second down and 10. Trio of receivers up to the top. Flag throws that direction wide open. Mike Coco, not even contested. And that one's caught up at about midfield.
Great ball.
Yeah, definitely.
Just
I mean, the Rhinos have been
receiver can get
cooking really on offense compared to Phoenix. We talked about the struggles of Phoenix's offense. Tillo about 50% completion percentage before that last scoring drive. DJ Simeon really can't get anything going. Meanwhile, Dakota with about 100 yards more than the Skyhawks, but losing. And the difference has been the defensive scoop and score by Marvin Sandiego way back, not only in the first quarter, but on Dakota's first offensive possession after the fumble.
Yeah, Flag again. He's so dangerous with the ball in his hands. But when he sees an opening, he just doesn't hesitate and just move.
In the gun here on this one, he's got to be careful to not get called for a false start moving like that pre-snap. Going to take off and run with it again. Skyhawks just continue to give flag running lanes. 7 rushes, 71 yards. That's about 7.1 yards per carry, maybe more. I don't know. Math is hard. That's more than that. And there's that aggressive snap count again. And flag again, just willing to run. And tackled once again, but not before getting another first down. Remind everybody that flag did fumble on a hit earlier on in this game that led directly to a Phoenix touchdown on the ensuing possession. He's got to be careful when he runs. Play action on first down from the 26. Firing into the back corner of the end zone, caught for the touchdown, and we're once again an extra point away from tying it up.
Wide open. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's going to happen if you give flag all day to throw. There's 2 defenders covering the same receiver for some reason. Meanwhile, they're leaving one of them completely wide open in the end zone.
The poor pylon.
Yeah.
It gets destroyed.
Yeah. X in the
It
chat.
looks like it was all, yeah. It looks like the pylon cam was broken beforehand. But then now
I
it's
see the light.
now it's don't go towards it. It's not your time. I know you did just get a year older the other day though.
Yeah, I did.
Feliz cumpleaños.
It's a great drive here for Dakota. They just keep answering.
Yeah,
That's
extra
the,
point is good.
Yeah, the mentality and the heart of a champion. They just keep answering. They just keep coming back.
It's all knotted back up, 27 apiece. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Glad to give you an entertaining game here in the Western Conference winners bracket. The Eastern Conference winners bracket earlier on tonight didn't have a whole lot of points. It started off looking strong. There was some points scored early on, and then both teams decided that's enough. That's enough points. We're just going to settle for what we have, 13-0, the final in that one. So,
Yep.
Tillo back out onto the field now, looking to see what they can do. Has really playbook's wide open for both of these teams. Plenty of time left. Sure, Phoenix would love to be able to tick some time off the clock and score. But D.R. Simeon, the touchdown receiver of the last possession, gets the catch there. 5 receptions, 63 yards now.
And the question becomes, who's going to make actually a defensive play, right? Who can get a takeaway? Who can get a sack?
They're going to go down to the ground. Oh, DJ Simeon, what a move. Turns back inside and runs into a host of tacklers. Oh, he has so much grass in front of him, and if he had just kept on running, and somehow he's got himself up to 76 yards now.
He made the toughest part, which was shook out that defender. From there, he probably could have just run straight through and instead decided to reverse field all the way, but found a bunch of rhinos right there waiting for him. Still a great run, though.
Would it be a bunch of rhino or a herd of rhino?
I don't know.
I think it's a herd.
I think it is.
No. Either way, he ran into him. Tillo throws middle. That one is caught. Andy Sands with another catch. And Tillo really heating up here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a ball. He's been outstanding in the second half. I call him the, United States Skyhawks. I guess I can call him a flock of rhinos, too. I guess that makes sense, too.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, from what I'm told from our producer, a group of rhinos is called a crash. That just doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure we're being punked.
Well, they crashed on Simeon, that's for sure.
They sure did. I mean, he really crashed on himself there. But wow, what a
He
pass.
just did.
Oh, down to the 4 and another flag on the play. And it's going to be another face mask penalty by this Rhinos defense.
Yeah, this one doesn't make a whole lot of difference. It's probably just going to be 2 yards, but still, you cannot make those mistakes. And I'm just impressed of how Phoenix has been able to move the ball here against this Dakota defense. I know that the other week they allowed 35 points, but I don't know. The moment of the game, the type of game is just impressive.
Toss to Simeon running towards the pylon into the end zone, and he gets the score. Touchdown Skyhawks. And for all the struggles that DJ Simeon has had today, right now it doesn't matter because he has once again given the Skyhawks back the lead.
This feels almost like a game of horse in basketball. It's like, whatever you can do, I can do as well. And they're just trading punches back and forth. And it just feels that we've been stuck in like 5, 6, 7 minutes of the fourth quarter for like an hour.
Yes, it has been quite the back and forth. I mean, when Phoenix was up 17-3, I thought, wow, the Skyhawks might actually run away with this one. Dakota wanted to remind everybody why they are the number 1 seed, and they have done just that. But Phoenix, they're not going to go down without a fight, Joey. They have been right in this one this whole time. And now, ever since being tied up at 20 apiece, we've just been going back and forth. So let's see what Dakota can do on this one. Cameron Irvine telling us that it was a crash of Rhinos. Mark Lopez in the chat saying it's a crash of Rhinos. I didn't believe, frankly, either of them. But Doug Day confirming that it's called a crash of Rhinos. If you can't trust Doug Day, who can you trust?
No. I trust the Twinkie man.
Oh, yeah. Twinkie would never lie to you.
No, he said I'm going to bring Twinkies, and he did. And then he
did.
gave me some.
He always will, too. You can count on that at every convention going forward. You will get a free Twinkie courtesy of Doug Day.
Yeah. Bad leg and all, he was there, and he was
there.
dishing out Twinkies.
Yeah. Flag back out onto the field now, throws, and that pass dangerously bobbled up into the air. The Phoenix Skyhawks with a +3 turnover differential in this one. They've scored points off of scoop and scores. They've scored points on ensuing offensive possessions. They are playing phenomenal on defense, but will it be enough? Can Dakota get back into it? A 5-yard gain there sets up a 3rd and 5.
What a play here coming up, 3rd and 5. Because if you don't convert, they're going for it. Just the fact that they cannot stop Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't, but it doesn't matter. Sites picks up the 1st down. I love to just, play a little dangerously on offense. I'm all for going for it on a 4th and 1, a 4th and inches situation. 4th and 5 would have been kind of crazy. Yeah, flag. Especially backed up this far. Flag going to run. He's going to have to hang on to this one. Gets the 1st down all the way up to almost midfield. 90 yards rushing on the day for Flag. What a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you have the Dakota, receivers like Day running deep routes. You have to back off, and that allows the quarterback.
Play action, Flag getting ready to run again. Right past a couple of defenders, all the way down to the 22-yard line, Joey. What a run for Billy Flag. He's putting the team on his back. He wants to go and advance to the Western Conference Final.
The 30-yard rush, it's been said, Flag wears number 28. That was his high school number. He was a running back.
Flag throws wide open down to the 5, spins down to the 3, and it's a 1st down and goal for Dakota. The defenses have both just given up in this game.
Yeah, it's just let's not play defense, guys. Let's just get more bingo numbers.
Flag, 1st and goal, end zone. That one's broken up.
Wow. 3:20 left. Dakota needs to punch this in. What a game.
From the 3-yard line, Flag Hands it off. Lions breaks a tackle, fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Rhinos, and we're going to have another tie game.
I'm telling you, he's been awesome on those goal line situations. You know, you will think it will be Sides, but again, is the backup running back shaking off at least one would-be tackler and just forcing his way into the end zone.
Dare I say that group of Rhinos crashed their way into the end zone. Extra point is up, is good, and we are tied with 3:16 to go. 34 points apiece, and Tillo getting his offense fired back up. They're going to go back out onto the field, and they're going to need to march their way down into scoring range. Now, all they need is a field goal here. We've got a tie ball game. Joey, they got to get down into scoring range, but they're probably going to want to try to be smart about that clock too. Clearly, they do not want to give it back to the Rhinos offense.
Yeah, absolutely, because the school of Rhinos is coming their way.
I believe that's fish that travel in schools. Kick taken out of the end zone. Now it only returned up to the 19, so they'll have plenty of field out in front of them that they'll have to work their way down into scoring range. First down and 10 from their own 19.
Do you know how
Simeon out back out on the field? No, you're good.
Do you know how a bank of fish, or excuse me, I already said it. A school of fish is called in Spanish?
A bank.
Banco.
El banco. Back.
Yeah.
Back at the 9.
Why? Nobody will ever know. But Pfister, we know about him. He's again the three Pfisters. It's a 3-man rush, Mike. That cannot happen to your offensive line. But
and the crazy part is it's been Menachem Pfister that's gotten all 3 sacks. They've got 3 Pfisters on the D line. Only one can actually get a sack though. Yeah,
but again, the other 2 are commanding double teams.
For sure.
So, you know, one of them is going to get the one-on-one, and from there it's game over, especially since you're, dropping 8 in coverage. There's nobody open.
To make it even tougher to get into scoring range now. Short pass. That one is broken up and incomplete. Clock stops at 2 minutes, 34 seconds from the 9-yard line in the 3rd and 20. What do you do here, Joey? If you give it back to the Dakota offense, you may as well kiss the playoffs goodbye.
You do. I mean, you at least run 3 guys past the line and then maybe a shallow cross.
Tillo throws 10 yards shy of the line to gain, and that is going to result in the Dakota Rhinos calling a timeout. They want to conserve some time. About 2.5 to go here in this one. 2:28 officially. And now the Skyhawks are going to have to punt this one away, and the red-hot Dakota Rhinos offense is ready to take the lead.
We were talking about it, right? Is which defense will make one play, right? It could be a turnover, it could be a sack, it could be a strip, there's something, right? Which defense in Dakota finally has answered the bell?
They really have, and now they're up at the 42-yard line, Joey. Target line's probably only about 20 yards away as we see Sites stats. His first 8 carries versus his last 8. Hasn't had a huge game, not nearly as huge as the rushing game of Billy Flagg, but you combine the two and the run game is impeccable for the Rhinos. Only need to get about 20, 25 yards and they can get into field goal range, and the defense steps up big for Phoenix.
And this will be a monumental stop if Phoenix can stop them.
One-yard tackle for a loss. Second down and 11.
Here we go.
2 minutes to go here in this one. Both teams tied at 34 apiece. But Dakota with the football, 20, 25 yards away from field goal range. You're watching the UFL Western Conference Winners Bracket on the Virtual Football Network. Flagg drops back, decides to take off and run with it, crosses midfield and tackled after getting a first down, 133 yards on the day now for Flag. Plenty of time, Joey. They could just run this one into field goal range.
Pretty much, exactly. You know, they don't need to even throw it if they're going to get that type of space.
Buck 38, clock rolling. Flag throws up top. Seitz gets the catch, steps out of bounds at the 47, stopping the clock at 134.
Yeah, and he doesn't get anything on that one. Nobody open down the field, and it looked like Phoenix did a better job of sealing the gaps that time.
Phoenix desperate for their 4th turnover of the ball game. Flag, with a flag on the play, decides to run and slide, and I think he gave up because he knew that this one's coming back.
I think it's a defensive holding, though. Nope, offensive.
Yeah, I saw the defensive end kind of getting thrown right to the ground by the right tackle there. Now Flag alone in the backfield. Throws over the middle. That one is caught down to the 44-yard line. And a big 3rd down and 7 coming up. They are not in field goal range. Can Phoenix get the stop? If they do, will Dakota go for it? Flag standing right at midfield. In the gun. Play action. Flag looks, firing deep down the right side. Has a man in the end zone, and it's broken up, incomplete.
It was Seitz running all the way to the end zone. You normally don't see that from the big running back, but you know when things like that, happen, you just have to go to the very back of your playbook and just throw something out there that Phoenix hasn't seen, and
Seitz,
that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Oh, and they're going to punt. Seitz was actually lined up at the top as the wideout and made a move on the defensive back, who looked confused. He's like, oh, wait, you're actually running? Oh, crap. And then had to chase him down, and barely were able to make the play. So now Phoenix with all 3 timeouts in 55 seconds. However, they're backed up to their own 12-yard line.
It's interesting if they just play for overtime here. They do have 3 timeouts, but...
Yeah, but they got to be careful. You turn it over at this point of the field, and that's ball game. Oh, it nearly does. Kickers, Zachary Anderson, he's getting ready. His target line's the 40. They're not quite there yet, Mr. Anderson, but you go ahead and warm up that leg.
You never know. If any broken tackle, anything like that. We've seen, Simeon. I don't think they're going to run the ball, but if you throw it out to Simeon, you can make anybody miss.
Play action, pass down to the bottom. That one is complete. 46 seconds. Clock will continue to roll. 3rd down and 1. I think they want to see what happens here in this next one. Could be playing for overtime. Phoenix had an overtime game just a couple of games ago in Los Angeles against the Aztecs. They were able to win that one in overtime, and that nearly was the ball game right there, Joey. Good Lord, my heart.
Goodness.
Almost threw a pick 6. Oh, yeah. Yep. He had the Western Conference Final right there, and he dropped it.
It will force a punt. I don't know if Dakota will have any time to try to go get in field goal range. They will have about maybe 22 seconds.
Looking for a good punt from Davis here as this one drops down. Oh, wow, what a punt back at the 24. And great special teams punt coverage, allowing only a 2-yard return. Yeah, back to the 26-yard line, and only 21 seconds to go, and only 2 timeouts remain for the Rhinos.
Maybe not enough for field goal range, but maybe for Hail Mary range.
Remember earlier on, we've seen Flag 3 times now uncork some deep ones. He's going to launch one over the middle right there, and that sets him up nicely. But Flag on those deep passes, 1 for 3. Had one that the receiver didn't go for the ball. Another nice one-handed catch. The 3rd one got intercepted. So will they try another deep one here, or will they try just to throw it about 20 yards on this next one?
Well, if they can throw it about 20, 25 yards just like they did, they will be in field goal range.
Yeah, with 1 timeout remaining, they can play any part of the field. Flag gonna try to run, gets sacked, and that looks like it might send us to overtime, Joey. We'll see if they call timeout here before the clock strikes 0. and try one last Hail Mary, and they do not. 4 quarters wasn't enough to get this one done, because this is the Western Conference winners bracket, and it's going to need another quarter to decide. You are watching the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. I'm Mike Dykes. He is Joey Ramos-Lynn, Cameron Irvine, our producer, back at UFL HQ. So glad you could all be here for this exciting game. 4 quarters played, Joey, and nobody was able to outscore the opposition.
It's been an amazing game, and again, you know, it's been back and forth with similar things. One team scores a touchdown, the other one does. The one team gets a stop, the other one does as well, and we've gone through this through the entire second half pretty much.
Mark Lopez is excited for overtime. $1.44 super chat. He says quadruple overtime, here we come. Hey, I'm here for it. Let's do it. It's twice the fun of calling one game when you get to call 2 in one shot. Yeah.
People will die out there.
If they die, they die. So Phoenix will start with it on offense here. They get the completion. That game that I mentioned that they played in Los Angeles, where they won in overtime, it was actually on the first play of overtime, a bomb from Tillo for the touchdown. It was Phoenix's only 1-score win since May 3rd. They do not score on one play in this overtime. Flag on the play. I don't know if that was an illegal shift. Ball carrier wasn't quite set when the ball was snapped. Oh, no. They're going to call that one on Dakota, so the mistakes continue to pile up, and it'll be a 2nd down and short now for the Skyhawks.
I thought for sure it was going to be like illegal motion or shift on the offensive side, but
sure looked like it from up here.
Yeah.
But my eyes are old, and the booth is far, far away from the field. Tillo back to pass. Oh, throws down to the bottom, and that one just sails out of bounds, incomplete. 3rd down and inches, and Joey, I think it would behoove them to just let DJ Simeon pick up the 1st down here.
Yeah, basically you run the best run play that you have.
3rd and inches, and Tillo in the gun. He will throw. Fires middle. That one is caught. Good for the 1st down. They'll move the sticks, keep the drive alive.
Or that. Yeah, that works too.
It does. I don't know. It just dangerous, you know, because then it could set up 4th and inches, and what do you do there? But the run game has struggled, so, I don't know what the right call was there, but obviously that one worked. So I guess that was it. 1st down and 10 from the 47. They're going to play action this one. Tillo has all day, decides he's going to take off and run with it, doing his best Billy Flagg impression. Not quite as fast, though. Picks up 4 yards, 2nd down.
Good decision, though. I mean, get positive yardage. Tillo not nearly as fast, but, making a good decision nonetheless.
Tillo throws over the middle, and that one is complete. I thought he might have dropped it. That one's complete for a 1st down. Mark Lopez in the chat says, if they die, they die is definitely a Mike Daggs classic. That's right. From Eric Vinson, you get delightful little wee-woos. From me, you get if they die, they die. 2 different strokes, 2 different folks. Tillo complete down to the 29. They'll spot it at the 28. Tillo passes 300 yards on the day, and they're in field goal range.
Yeah, and they're in field goal range, but a reminder, if Phoenix is able to score a touchdown, they win the game. So
yeah, they're definitely going to be looking for the end zone here, but a certain comfort level for them, at least being in scoring range at this point, knowing that if they have to settle for a field goal, then they can try to count on their defense. But the Dakota offense has been extremely potent as of late. Tillo, short pass middle, and nearly gives the whole game away as that one goes right into the hands of Nuke Raiden.
Maybe a lack of communication there. Maybe the running back or the quarterback thought the running back was just going to stop there in the middle, and he was nowhere to be found.
Tillo from the 28 has time under pressure, throws, and that one's bobbled in the air and incomplete. Almost got sacked, and that bopped up pass almost got picked. 3rd down and 10 now. Mark Lopez asking, what are the overtime rules? If they score a touchdown on this possession, they win. If they score a field goal, Dakota will get a shot with the football. Tillo throws down to the 11-yard line, and it's caught for the 1st down.
Oh, my God.
The drive will continue.
I mean, the perfect pass. There's 3 different Rhinos. I mean, that's definitely a crash of Rhinos.
That is a crash of
surrounding the
Rhino.
receiver.
Look at right there. Crash. The Rhino.
That was a one-man flock there by the Skyhawk.
A whole school of Skyhawks in the area. Toss down to Simeon. To the end zone. Touchdown. Phoenix wins the game.
Wow. Unbelievable. And dare I say, Mike, again, I don't have a dog in the fight. The better team won this game. I just thought that the Skyhawks were the better team throughout. Dakota is obviously an incredible football team, but Phoenix just picked the right time to play by far the best game of the year.
They sure did, Joey. I couldn't agree more. Phoenix Skyhawks ending the regular season 7-9. What have they done in the playoffs? Well, they were 3-0 coming into today's game, 4-0 now in the playoffs, and they will host the Western Conference Final for that phenomenal game. And how about DJ Simeon? We were hard on him all game long, Joey. He just had a really difficult time getting the ball moved down the field. And now, dare I say, the hero of the game. Give my game ball to DJ Simeon. Why? Because he never quit. He kept on trying. He got a touchdown late in the 4th quarter, and then in overtime is able to help his team go all the way down the field on the opening possession, never giving the Dakota Rhinos an opportunity to even attempt to score any points. The Phoenix Skyhawks, how about that defense, Joey? 3 takeaways that led to points to keep them in this fight.
Yeah, unbelievable. You know, really the difference was, you know, early in the game, that scoop and score that they were able to get to go up 7-0, and from that
set
point,
the tone. Yeah,
it did. I mean, from that point, that they were able to kind of, you know, take a step up, and if I remember correctly, Mike, they never trailed in this game.
Yeah, it was tied plenty of times, but Dakota never had the lead as Phoenix was able to get on the board first with that scoop and score. Dakota answered with a field goal, but then Phoenix answered with a field goal of their own and then a touchdown, and then back and forth they would go once it got tied up in the 2nd half. And Dakota made a game of it. Look at that 4th quarter right there highlighted. 21 points in the 4th quarter for Dakota, getting it tied up. But Phoenix, they were the ones that came to play the most today. What a drive in overtime. What a game for DJ Simeon. For all the struggles he had, he was able to seal the deal. His Skyhawks will host the Western Conference Final. Who will they play? Well, Dakota now goes on to play the winner of the game to take place on September 8th, and that is Salt Lake and Vegas. So whoever wins the Salt Lake Vegas game, that is who Dakota will play. The winner of that game will go to the Western Conference Final in Phoenix. Phoenix, Arizona, as you were pointing out all game long. Joey, your final thoughts on this one?
No, I mean, one of the best UFL games I think we've seen not only this season, but ever since we started. And just a pleasure to have a call with you, and a pleasure to have the guys in the chat. Appreciate you all. What a game! And if Phoenix can beat Dakota, they can beat anybody. So
I would agree.
See what the 7-9 Skyhawks can do the rest of the way.
Phenomenal game. Appreciate you all joining us this evening. This has been a presentation of the UFL on the Virtual Football Network. Phoenix gets the win, 40-34 over the Dakota Rhinos. For Joey Ramos-Lynn, Cameron Irvine, and Matt Wilson, who's always with us in spirit in every broadcast that we do, I'm Mike Dykes. Thank you for joining us, and remember, be kind to one another. Always choose happy. Have yourselves a great night. We will see you next time.